Hello, you guys. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Anyone? Hello? Hello? Hello, you guys. Can you see me? Oh, okay, good. So something very odd, and you can hear me. Fantastic. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Anyone? So there's something weird going on. Hello? I am speaking and the sound is delayed. So I don't know what is going on. Give me 1 second, guys. Hello? Hello, you guys. Can you see me? Oh, okay. So something very odd, and you can hear me. Fantastic. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Anyone? So there's something weird going on. Hello. Guys, I'm trying to figure out, and the sound is delayed. So I don't know what is going on. Give me 1 second, guys. Hello. Hello, you guys. Can you see me? Oh, okay. So something very odd, and you can hear me. I don't think this is where I don't see you guys. I don't see your comments. I wanna see your comments. Sorry, guys. I don't know why the live is not working the same way it was in the past. In the last few times, it was perfect, and of course, somebody messed with perfection. All right, here we are. Okay, I see your comments. I see myself in real time. Okay, this is all good. All right, so you guys, so many comments. This is fantastic. How is everybody doing? Well, you probably already said it before I even got this thing to work. All right, let me see. I'm gonna go from the start here and see you guys were having a nice little chat. But I don't want to skip any questions. So I'm gonna go through here. First of all, I wanna tell you before I start, I am so excited to do this live, and I'm in Italy right now. And I am just so excited. First of all, the weather here is fantastic, which I was worried about because it's been raining for 3 days once I got here, which is the same thing that was happening in St. Louis before I left. And so I think I took the rain with me because of the day after I was gone there, it was super beautiful. So I don't know what is going on. Maybe it's me. So I'm glad now it's actually nice and warm outside. So hopefully you guys are enjoying a little respite from the weather wherever you are. It's been a little bit weird. Okay, so Lorraine says, you had a really good question up, but now you don't see it. I don't know if I saw it. What the 3D will be experiencing about their family members who are not with them. You know what, the 25th has talked about this. Let me just tell you, I'm sorry that your question disappeared. I don't know what happened. But, and Lorraine, let me see. Can you just give me a heads up that you're hearing me okay? Just one more time, just a yes will do. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me, so this is not difficult for you guys to follow. Oh, you guys are so sweet. That is so sweet. Can you guys tell me one more time, please, if, yes, I'm not looping, okay. I switch between like 3 different, okay, perfect, thank you, EDC. I switch between 3 different things, and EDC, you're used to technology, you work in the gaming industry. I mean, I'm telling you, this is a whole new level for me, all this between Zoom and YouTube, and YouTube never works the way you're expected to, so it's fascinating. I'm glad somehow the gods of technology are smiling on us right now, that's all I have to say. All right, so Lorraine, what will people in the 3D chambers be experiencing in terms of what will they think happened to their family members. So keep in mind that the people going to the 3D chambers have lost time. So they will think of their family members as somebody that wasn't, has not been with them for a while. And they will think, the 25th has told us, they will think beautiful things about them. Like we might think of somebody, a beloved one that we have lost a while ago. For example, I always think of my grandmother, and I've always known, even before the 25th connected with me, that she's in a happy place. She's happy. She's living her life, right? And so that's exactly what they'll experience. Now, should there be somebody who has a really hard time coping, then their memories might be changed again. And they're doing this to themselves. So just so we're clear, there's nobody outside that's changing the memories for them or imposing their will on these people. So we basically are setting ourselves up wherever we might be going. So including in the 3D chambers, we're setting ourselves up to be happy because we're done this. Okay, we all need a vacation. Okay, and so that's what's happening. So people will just assume that people will be happy, will be serene. Now, if you want to connect with your loved ones in the 3D chambers, we don't want to consciously disturb their experience where they don't want to know there's anything outside of 3D chambers. You can connect with them in dreams. I have had dreams of my grandmother and other people that unfortunately passed away and that I missed. But so it doesn't have, you can still connect with them, let them know everything is okay or whatever it is. You can even walk around in the 3D chambers to, they're all projecting themselves there. You can project yourself there. You can even go and take a look at what's happening if you want to check on them and make sure they're okay, but they are okay, they're happy. So hopefully that answers your question, Lorraine. And when I do answer a question, please let me know below if I have not answered it fully, because I don't want to assume. I have a lot of stuff in my head that 25th has told me. I don't want to assume that I explained everything to you guys. In fact, I'm just finishing today. Actually, this morning I was finishing working on my second new session that you guys haven't seen. So I have one session that I started posting. I think you guys saw the first video yesterday. Today I don't have a video coming out just because we're doing this live. And so I have about 20 videos on that are already ready to go. And then I'm preparing the new session. There will be videos for June. So I have a lot of new information that I haven't shared with you guys yet, just because, again, it can get overwhelming to release it all at once. I want you guys to have time to think about these things. This is how we absorb things. I mean, even for me, it's a lot. And sometimes I've read and transcribed and even recorded these things. So I've read them like 10 times and it's still a lot, some of this. But I think the space, and you guys let me know, but I think the space has been pretty good for most people. And it's definitely been somewhat tenable for me as well. So when I see things, I don't want to assume I've already released the video that speaks about that. So if there's anything that's unclear, do let me know, okay? All right, Lorraine, will they create storylines that include us as holographic players in their story? No. They cannot create people that are not there. I mean, they can, I guess. You can create your own reality, but you wouldn't be considered like, it wouldn't be an actual person walking around, okay? So let's assume for a second to use a framework that makes sense to us because we live it. Even though I create my own reality, I cannot create a person like my grandmother. You wouldn't even have an NPC available here. And the same way for them, they actually think their bodies like they were here. And something weird happened now on my screen. Hopefully that's okay for you guys. Okay. So no, they won't create us. I mean, they will assume we're past or something wonderful. The 25th even mentioned some people will think that the angels have taken some of us. So, and keep in mind, even in the 3D chambers, doesn't mean these are all sleepers together. And again, we mean no judgment by sleepers. These are people that align themselves a certain way on this planet so they could go to the 3D chambers. They didn't do anything wrong, okay? This was their choice, just like we have a different choice and we must honor that. And so these people there, many of them might also wake up. They're going to have access to the same information, to a lot of the same information we have right now. And the 25th has even mentioned, and I don't think this has been released yet, the 25th has even mentioned that these codes that are included in these messages that the 25th is distributing to us, is communicating to us. These codes are percolating into 3D chambers, because guess what? We're all one. And so they're hearing it just like we are. And some of them are ready for this. So they might go to New York next, or they might go hang out with the aliens. Either way, they're going to wake up. So the same thing we've been doing here will continue in that sense. Doesn't mean that they're going to be, just the same. And they're also growing as essences. Their essence is also wanting to experience new things. In fact, the 25th said that a lot of these people that went there, they were actually ready to wake up. They just didn't have a chance to do it here before moving on. So I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, Lorraine. Since we can create a reality on the earth, will we create homes with the features we have here? I know we don't need to eat, but what will we eat if we want to experience taste and textures? I love it. So homes, we don't need homes, exactly. I mean, we could be pure energy, and we could live on what we consider to be a barren planet. I mean, we don't need anything as energy. We believe here that we need certain things like eating, for example, but we don't. Even these NPC bodies, these bodies we've created them to need food, for example. They did not need food when they were created. And this I have not released, so let me just break it down. This planet was created 9 billion years ago. We know this. But I've also asked how long the NPC bodies, the animals, basically all the bodies we then came in as essences and lived in, have started living in. These bodies have been created 4.5 billion years ago. And before we got here, they didn't need anything. They were just being. And then when we got here, we did create some changes to these bodies. We did manipulate them in some ways. And then we decided that we needed to eat, because eating, again, was a code, like everything else, that we were ingesting. And by ingesting, we were maintaining the reality, the belief in the reality we wanted to say. So it's not the planet that needs to be maintained, just to make sure we're clarifying this. The planet is just like any other planet. Gaia maintains the planet. But it's us. Basically, we decided these bodies would function a certain way. And so in that sense, the bodies, we won't need anything on yours, because we've decided not to be in the game anymore. So to know that everything comes from us, for that reason, we won't need to eat, like, as you said, and we won't need houses. That means that you create absolutely everything. That means that if you, Lorraine, want to live in a sandcastle, you can. So yes, you can recreate whatever you want. You can recreate your house right now, that you have right now. Or maybe you can recreate the house that you had when you were a child, and maybe it's been demolished since. You can create anything. Maybe once you remember your previous 1,000 incarnations on this planet, or however many you've had, maybe you decide that there was a place you really loved, because all of a sudden you're going to realize these are all happening. This is all now, all these experiences. So this last experience for us is not going to necessarily have more weight than the others. And all of a sudden you decide there was a particularly happy home that you've experienced, and you're going to recreate that. Or maybe a gingerbread house, I don't know. So yes, you can absolutely create everything. And it's funny you asked that, because I actually was concerned myself about the fact that, and where this comes from, I have traveled so much in my life, and I have left my family a long time ago to travel and to do all these things. I've had a very adventurous life, which I have loved so much. But guys, one second, something popped up and I don't want this to bother us. So I'm just going to quit that app. So it really won't bother us anymore. Okay. So because of this, the only thing really that's portable for me, that's been portable, is then pictures, books, that kind of thing, things that I can take with me. And so I was very concerned about the fact that now this is going to be destroyed. Like, I'm here in my family home. I have all my memories here. My parents still have my notebooks from when I was a child, my pictures of when I was little. And these are my roots. And I'm sure many of you can relate to this. I'm a very sentimental person, if you cannot tell. But basically, because of this, I was concerned. I'm like, is this all going to be gone? And they said, no, if we can recreate everything. So I could recreate this exact house with everything in it if I wanted to. So I hope that makes you happy, Lorraine. The other thing you were saying is, we don't need to eat, but what we eat, we want to experience taste and textures. You can create whatever you want. You can create food. So now I have asked about will we be nostalgic about the things we eat? For example, this was a while ago. I think it was my first or second section. So I think in December. And they said that, you know, even if you do become a little bit nostalgic, it won't last very long, is what they said to me. Because there is so much new stuff we're going to be so enthralled with that we're not going to, the things that we think matter now, we're not going to miss them as much as we think we will. And also, I was like, okay, so what's happening to our five senses? They said, you're still going to have them, but you're not going to care so much about them because we're going to have like 25, 30 senses. So you're not going to be so focused on, oh, let me taste something good, for example, because maybe taste is not going to be your strongest sense or what you're working on. So I think we just don't know. We can't envision really, which I get it. It's just, I mean, this is a completely new experience that we're walking into. And so we're curious about these things, as we should be. I mean, this is what has brought us here to this point today, right? We are curious people, so it's all good. But I don't think we're going to miss a lot of these things. But if you do want to experience something, create it. In a split second, you'll have it. You miss pizza, create pizza and have it. All right, EDC. Question, what percentage of the alien ships group has left Earth? So I don't know, but it's funny, they do this to me. I was saying to you, I don't know. And as I said, I don't know, they said 10%. So 10% has already left Earth. Consider we just started this in May, and a lot of it, the bulk of it is gonna leave at the end of June or towards the end of June. The reason I say this is because I know several people who are going to go with the aliens, and every time I ask about it, any of them, they're telling me, oh, they're leaving at the end of June. So I think it's a thing. So it's going to be accelerating. I think this is also because, and I'm thinking, and again, that I think they're letting me know to let you know why this is happening. They don't want to scare people. So even people who are here, they don't want to scare people. So they're starting gently, you know, gradually. And then of course, when there's less people left or less people that could be scared, then they're taking a bunch of people, you know, maybe around the same time. That's what they're saying. It's again meant to not comfort, but at least not scare people. Now we're not going to be scared. It's going to be fine. You probably have that video, I think, was released where they said everything has been, about the transition, where they said everything is being managed. So time will now work the way that it's always worked here. I know many of you, I know Lorraine for sure is having trouble keeping up with time. I'm the same. I mean, time has always been difficult for me, and now it's just a mess because time is sometimes stretched, sometimes shrunk, and so like we're having such a hard time keeping up with it. But that's why, because things are being managed so that we're not scared. Because even me, okay, I don't want to even talk about you guys. So you can give me feedback. I would love to hear. Even me, I know all of this, but I know, in fact, I'm really curious. I mean, how, like, say that I was going with the aliens and there is a ship that's stopping in front of my house. I mean, I'd be running under the bed probably, I don't know. Or there is an alien walking on my porch. I'd be like, what? So I'm sure there is a way, I'm sure we planned all of this, right? And there is a way where we're just going to be there's going to be some energy where we're just very calm. Otherwise, people wouldn't even be getting on these ships. You can imagine what a disaster that would be. That sounds like a horror movie to me. So I know everything has been planned out. I'm not worried about it anymore. I've asked enough questions to where it sounds like we really have thought of everything. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So question from ADC, which celebrities have left the planet on alien ships? You know what, that's a good question. However, so I've not asked the question in those terms, but I will tell you, and I do think this has not been released yet. I asked about, what was I asking about? I don't know if it was asking about Lush or the fat. You know, you guys, have you seen how a lot of celebrities have the black eye, whatever it is, because what they're trying to do, I'll give you the short version of this. Again, there's a video coming out about this, but basically, what they're trying to do, what the dark is trying to do, no aliens can walk on this planet, which doesn't mean, okay, let's be clear in our terms. No aliens can live on this planet without having committed, because we're all aliens, right? Nobody's from here. So no essence can live on this planet from outside without committing to a body, okay? Now an alien can come and embodying an NPC for a short period of time is what we refer to as saying walking, okay? Somebody can walk in and for a little period of time can walk around, and that's perfectly fine. But first of all, they have their own life. So the second they have to go do something else or live or whatever they have to do, or, you know, whatever they do in their normal life, they have to leave the NPC. They have to project somewhere else, you know, focus on something else. And all of a sudden they can come back into the body because that body is not reserved for them. Okay. This is why we, instead as essences, reserve a body by coming in at birth. Okay. So we commit to this body. The reason I'm mentioning this is because of course, the dark has been trying to twist this rule here. So they do all these rituals, these experiments, these things, and some of us have heard about these, where they're trying to get an alien to be able to live or to stay in an NPC, in a body for a longer period of time, okay? And they do this with celebrities. In fact, and you've seen it, that's why you see the celebrities with a black eye or whatever it is, but they can't because there are rules on this planet. We cannot have aliens just coming in, not at birth, and just staying here. It's just not the way it works. Otherwise we would be overrun, okay, by now. This planet is for humans only. And so celebrities in the course of that message, basically they mentioned that celebrities, in order for this to be possible, celebrities are NPCs. The vast majority of celebrities are NPCs. So will they be going on alien ships? They won't be going anywhere because NPCs will solve the planet. So hopefully that answers your question, ADC. And thank you so much for these questions, everybody. This is awesome. Okay. EDC question, what are the signs and signals that the game board is being taken down? Okay, all right, so you're like, you get me, because I always ask for proof, okay? So I don't know if you remember, okay, so there used to be two things they told me to watch out for. One was the thing, you know, being recalled, and one was actually a personal matter that I don't want to necessarily talk about because it is kind of strange, not for me, but for the person involved, and I don't want to. That's why I haven't talked about it, and it's also personal, okay? In the sense of it wouldn't really be relevant for you guys. Otherwise, I would have shared it, and it's no problem. But now, actually, they gave me a third proof as well. So I want to tell you how these proofs are going, because I literally, when I had my last session, I was like, it seems like you guys are not really good at predicting the future, because none of these two things, at the time was still two things, none of these two things have come about. So let me tell you. They told me the first one, so the one that everybody will be able to see, this thing being recalled, they said it's a few days now, okay? So this is gonna happen sometimes this month, as far as I can tell. They said it's gonna happen very soon. In fact, I was specifically talking about a problem that was happening in Italy related to that. So we're in a total fascism here. Not that the rest of the world was a walk in the park, but here I found out, which is such a joke, because I don't know if you guys know that in Europe, there's a big deal that's being made about privacy. Like, I don't even know if anybody knows what that word means, apparently, but about privacy. So every time I go on a website here, I have to tell them what cookies I want, what I don't want, because they're so careful with your privacy. And so in this climate of the government caring so much about us, in Italy, I've received a notice from the IRS, the Italian IRS. They cross-reference with the health system, the health ministry. And if you haven't gotten the crap, then they fine you. And they fine you more and more as time goes by, and you don't get it. So talk about privacy and talk about how much they do care. And this is because I turned 50. I don't know if I've ever told you my age, not that it matters, but I turned 50. And so they really want to get rid of the people, apparently, or they love the people that are getting older. Because it's a socialist country and people getting older is very expensive, guys. It's funny because we've always known this here. It's been a running joke that, you know, old people cost money, and now all of a sudden they care so much. I love it. So I'm digressing. The reason I say I'm saying all of this is because they told me when I was specifically asking, because I was concerned about coming back to Italy, because I'm like, oh, they're going to see that I'm there and I'm not, haven't taken the whatever. And they said, don't worry, this is already crumbling. They're getting ready to get rid of it. So things are happening very, very quickly, guys. It does feel very much lighter. I don't know if you guys are experiencing this. The 25th even talked about it in the last session where they said the energy is so much lighter than it used to be. Can you guys not feel it? So yeah, basically that's a major sign. And again, I'm waiting with a bated breath to see it. I think somebody in the comments the other day, I forgot who it was, maybe it was Holly or I don't remember, but somebody mentioned that she already read or heard something like that, but then she couldn't find it again. So I think it's happening, guys. Okay. Already somebody before this last person said that the J thing already was being curtailed because it's a known fact that it causes blood clots. Like the other ones are better, but whatever. Okay, so yeah, so that's supposed to happen. And now the other two things, again, the second one is what it is. The third one, I didn't know. So what they told me something. I was talking about my trip coming to Italy. They told me something would happen. And I'm like, it was literally down to the last minute. I'm like, this is not going to happen. It was something that I had to have before coming to Italy, or I would have had problems coming here. And they said, no, she'll get it. And I was like, literally like, how? And 3 days after, I had the session on the 27th of April. By the 1st of May, out of nowhere, I have this thought. I'm like, let me reach out to this person who I haven't spoken to in years. I asked her for this thing. She sent it to me within 15 minutes. So just saying, guys, I mean, this was confirmation for me. I had no idea this was going to happen. I expected it wouldn't happen. I already prepared for it not happening and having to do all kinds of roundabouts things. And again, unfortunately, I cannot tell you the specifics, not because I don't want to, but this is because it's YouTube and then we can't really talk about these things. But I did get my first proof out of 3. So hang in there, EDC. I know exactly how you feel. I feel the same way. I'm sure we're not the only ones. So we're all watching for signs. So yes, that's what we're looking for. Crystal, hi Crystal. I'm awake. That's awesome. Okay. Akari, eating dinner. Enjoy. Hi Akari. Okay. I love that you guys now know each other. This is wonderful. I know you too. Like, I'm so excited when I feel like I'm getting together with my friends every time I see your comments under the videos. I love it. Thank you so much, guys. You really, you don't understand. You don't realize how, because to you, you're just watching a video, but you don't realize what a huge difference it makes for me to just see your names under there. I feel like I'm not doing this by myself. I'm actually doing it with friends. So it is huge. This is all our energy. I've told you this before. This is not me. I'm nobody. It's CLEA'S nothing. This is 25th coming through. It happens to come through me, but I could not do it if there wasn't and we know this. You always have to have your team supporting you. We're a team. So this is huge for me. You don't know. I'm telling you. Okay. EDC, what do your initials mean? I don't know. Did he answer? Did you answer, EDC? I don't see the answer here. I'm also curious. Okay. Okay. Oh, Crystal, the Telegram channel. You know what? I don't know that I'm going to start. And the truth is, I'm exhausted, you guys. I really am exhausted. I've dealt with a lot. It's been a lot for me, especially because consider every time before I even get this stuff to you, I'm not even talking about the 3D work. Like it's literally days and days of work on each one of these. I basically have figured out, I quantified that all the transcripts I've done, each transcript from each session is about 70 pages long. And I quantified that it's the equivalent of having written several books. This is last August. And I'm not trying to tell you this, to make you feel bad or to say, I'm happy. I'm happy to have done this. I'm honored to have done this. That's not what I mean. But I am exhausted. I'm feeling it. And I think I'm feeling it because it is the end. It doesn't, I've done what I was supposed to do. So, so because of that, I'm trying to cut down on the things that I do. And so I don't believe I'm going to do the Telegram channel, because I wouldn't even have the time or the energy to monitor it or whatever it is, and to interact so much. In fact, I'm cutting down everything so that I can focus on this. With my last energy, I can do these things. And so somebody else, I know someone else offered to run it. And I don't want to say her name because she's changed her mind. But if she does start it, and in fact, if you're listening, you know who you are, and you want to start it, I'll be happy to put the link on my videos so people can join it, and to even tell people, you know, where to find it, because I think it might be fun for you guys to have. And I mean, I would pop in too every once in a while, but I just wouldn't be the one running it or managing it or anything of the kind. I want to tell you my schedule. So I am in Italy now. I'm coming back. I'm going to Thailand. That's my real vacation, because I've been working every day here since I've been here. But I'm actually taking 2 weeks vacation. My boyfriend is joining me here for a week in Italy. He's never been, so I'm excited about showing him around. And then I'm taking a week to go to Thailand, which I don't know if you guys know, it's like my third home. Italy, Thailand, and the US are my 3 homes have always been. And so I'm going to Thailand. I by the time I get back to the United States, I'm only going to be exhausted. but we're almost at the end. I'm coming back mid to end June, possibly closer to the middle of June. And the reason I say I don't know when is because right now my ticket is mid-June, but it's a habit for me. I've always done it. I will wait, you know, until a couple of weeks before leaving, and I might change my ticket. And so, but I am thinking of keeping it towards the mid-June. And at that point, we only have 2-3 weeks at the most, based on what they're telling me. So we all want to chill and relax and get ready for the next thing. I'm sure many breakthroughs will come during those days, which doesn't mean I'm disappearing, guys. Okay, I told you I have videos coming out almost through the end of June, and I'll do another live, or we'll do whatever we have to do. But I'm just saying I'm not going to have the focus on the Telegram channel. So hopefully this other person still wants to start it, and I will let you guys know. Akari, I'm actually having breakfast. That's awesome. Yeah, why not? Who cares that it's dinner food? I mean, it's all great. Okay. Okay, I'm scrolling, guys. I haven't tried Telegram, Akari. It's just a platform that's good for groups. It's easy. Like we use it. I use it, for example, with Lorraine, and we're part of a marketing group, and so we get information there. It's just an easy app to use for groups. That's all, and to post things, that kind of stuff. It's kind of fun. It's kind of easy. Of course, it's infiltrated like every other app. They used to say, I don't know if you guys know, they used to say Telegram was the alternative app, and no, it's also manipulated. Okay. Ollie, hi Ollie. Kath, hi Kath. It's awesome to see you guys. Seriously, this is fantastic. Okay. Looking for questions, guys. 1 second. Okay. Kath, you're saying, we'd love to chat with you guys on Telegram. Needless to say, nobody in my life knows any of this stuff. Yeah. So I have, I don't even know. I probably go on Facebook now once every 40 days or so, 45 days, not even once a month anymore. Because, and the only reason I go is because somebody might, so I have groups that are followed, like I'm part of a holistic mothers group, and sometimes they post the parks we're going to there. So I have to open it, and I've told them many times, I say, why are you still using Facebook? But I don't know, in the 2000s, 2,500, maybe almost 3,000 followers or friends on Facebook. So it would be so easy for me to share these videos on Facebook, because I know when I started, I was testing the stuff. This was 2019 in the beginning. I did a 30-day challenge of videos, and I posted them on Facebook, and I would have, like, I had one with 5,000 views. So really, if that's what I was after, I would be like, no problem. But I'm like, you know what? I believe that our energy attracts the people, the essences that are supposed to be attracted. I don't think you guys, I've made no mystery of this. I don't think you guys are here by chance. And I know a lot of you, in fact, I've asked about you guys, and I'm going to spoil the surprise here. So the 25th has told me that most of you on this channel, not everybody, and it's perfectly fine, most of you on this channel are going to New Earth, and some others are going to hang out with the aliens. Obviously, you know, the people going to 3D chambers would not be listening to this, and that you guys have heard a call, and that's why you showed up. And so yeah, so I understand not sharing this information with the with the other people in our lives. I feel like we're doing some sort of underground work, like, you know, the early Christians or something. It's so weird, the times we're living in. It really is so strange, isn't it? Holly says, Kath, isn't it really funny talking to people who think the government wants to get them, spy on them, etc.? I wish I could tell them most essences have left. Even the people in the governments have left. And it's funny because when the 25th was talking about this, one of the things that they mentioned is the fact that the reason they have lost time is because a lot of the people there, you know, again, they don't have governments anymore. So a lot of the people there might have been in the government. So what are you going to say? Oh my gosh, I was the evil person, you know, pushing the mandates. They're not going to do that, right? All right, Lorraine. Going to be a fun conversation. Yes, I hope so. I hope you guys are having fun. Show me if you're having fun, some, you know, thumbs up or whatever it is. Let me know. And hopefully by the end, I'll be able to get down there and see it, because again, YouTube is not the most easy to use. Okay. Kath, I just smile to myself while they talk, knowing they never understand, at least consciously. Although a lot of the time it can be quite isolating. Yes, it is. And this is why. So I've asked the 25th of this. They have said, we used to be isolated because we had to be. First of all, keep in mind, the people going to New York, there aren't that many of us, okay? In a world of 2 billion people, really 1.7 billion people, there's what, 3.5 million of us? No, there's another 3.5 million that will join us later, but 3.5 million, we are like a handful is what we are, okay? We're like the Spartans, you know, the 300. And not to say we're better than anybody else, I don't mean it like that. You know, the number discrepancy between, it was the Spartans, I never even watched the movie, but it was the Spartans, and it was, you know, all the armies, that were like thousands. Excuse me. And thousands of people. And so we were supposed to be sprinkled out on this planet because we have a certain vibration, again, because we've been aligning ourselves to have a certain vibration, not by chance. We are not better than other people, okay? But we had a plan, and that's why we have been isolated at the same time. And I mean, there are some of the 12,000 on this channel, because I've asked that too, because I am curious. Not going to say names, guys. But, and again, because it's just a job, it's just saying there are engineers here versus attorneys. Nobody cares, right? Everybody is doing what they want to be doing. But so lately, so recently, and I mean the last few months, what we've done is we started to get to know each other. And the reason we have found each other is because this is very isolating and this is very challenging right now. So even though at a conscious level, we might not know what's going on, well, we know here, but most people don't know what's going on. We need to find people that we can talk with, even though it's virtual in this case, because otherwise we wouldn't necessarily be able to make it. A lot of us, you know this, we all have ups and downs. I've had entire weeks, especially getting this information, where I was not doing great. So I've had periods of mourning. I know Lorraine talked about this too. And Lorraine, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus here. Tell me if you don't want me to talk. I've already asked Lorraine if I could share some of these things with her before, so she said she was okay, but I just want to make sure. And so you guys know it's hard. This is no joke. I mean, we laugh about it. We have a sense of humor because at the end of the day, it is a joke, isn't it? It's all a game, right? But it has gone horribly wrong here. You know, we thought it would turn out okay. It was an honest mistake, but at the end of the day, we're exhausted. I mean, if you guys are anything like me, we're exhausted. I mean, we're ready to move forward. So, and that's why we're meeting each other, Kath. This is not by chance. Holly, hey everyone, where do you live? Sunshine Coast, Queensland, Australia. Holly, that's awesome. Okay. And then Cameron, Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia. Love it. And Kath is in Melbourne. Okay, you guys are all in Australia. I'm glad this time is working for you. I was worried. The reason I chose this time is simply because my brother agreed to take my daughter to the park. Otherwise, I would have not even been able to do it because nothing has changed. She's always here, like, every 2 minutes. So, all right. And Crystal is also in Australia. How funny. That's awesome. Okay. All right. Let me see. I'm looking for questions, guys. And there is also something else I want to tell you. So if I don't see any questions soon, I will tell you this other. I'm having a bunch of breakthroughs chained together, like they're coming quick, fast and furious, basically. And something really funny happened yesterday that just taught me a new lesson about dreams. And I do want to tell you guys. Okay. Okay. Lorraine. Math, yes, the people who are so lost in the game can be challenging, but we know what is going on, so we can just smile. And yes, we do know what is going on. And sometimes it's not easy to even smile because they can get in your face because they are so busy. They have to scream and shout because they're trying not to hear, right? They don't want to know. And so sometimes it can be quite uncomfortable. It doesn't mean just because we know what's going on, doesn't mean that we're going to be becoming punching bags and just stand there, right? So even though it's all a joke, I know this is all crumbling, seeing what's happening with the Italian government, not that it's, again, at the end of the day, any worse than any other government. This is what governments are for, right? To crack down. I mean, the whole idea of governments is to be parasitic, they produce nothing, and to be forceful and to be controlling. But see, and by the way, guys, I learned this as a 3D person when I studied economics in college. So this is not a spiritual thing I'm saying. It's the nature of governments, what they were created for. And so it's tough. So I understand what you're saying, Lorraine. And of course, you're very high vibrational. At the same time, sometimes you just gotta separate yourself and be like, no, we're not doing this. And I've become much better at this. I want to tell you guys, I used to be a total pushover, and I'm not even embarrassed to say it anymore. I was, and it's funny because I was always a very determined, very independent, very strong person. But when it came to people, I was convinced I had to be nice. And because I was so strong, I could be nice. So I was going to show people how to be nice, whatever was going through my mind at the time. And now I'm like, I have no patience. When something happens, it's not that I get upset about it or anything, but I move away. So you guys feel free. We don't have to be, the 25th has told us, we don't have to be all love and light. We're not just love and light. We are everything. We can be anything. In fact, I asked about the nature of guilt as well. So I do have, I have a video coming out about that. Okay. Holly, I just encourage them to do what their hearts desire. You know what? That's awesome. That's beautiful. And that's brilliant. Okay, Kath, my first live. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I didn't realize, Kath, you've only been around for a month. You feel like you've been around much longer. You're like one of the core group. All right. I don't know how to pronounce your name, Sioban, but you post some beautiful comments, some beautiful stories, and I really appreciate that. You guys, as I said, I mean, I sound like a broken record. I really enjoy the interaction we have, or that you even have with each other. It's just a lovely community. All right, so Holly, I saw Claire commenting on her dream on find a light pattern. Yeah, and tractor, you took that. That's awesome. Okay, Kath, just smile and wave. Yes, Crystal. Been there since our interview. Oh, okay, Crystal. So you saw the interview. Okay. All right. EDC. Oh, EDC. So it's your first, middle, and last name initials. Edward. Edgar. I don't know. Okay. Very mysterious. It's totally fine. Most of us are going to change names once we get to New York because it will symbolize for us a new beginning. And so I already know I'm going to change my name. So. All right, Akari. Hello, Cameron, Silvana and Angela. Glad to see everyone. I usually see in the comments. Yeah, this is why this is fun. And that's why I do want to do this in addition, obviously, to answer your questions. Where are the questions, guys? Okay, let me see. Discover from you, Akari. Oh, so Akari mentioned me on the Girl in the Universe channel. That's so sweet. That's really, really sweet. Okay. Okay. Siobhan saying, hi, Car, you always ask such good questions. And yes, you do. E for Edward. So see, I didn't get it right. I'm glad it's Edward, not Edgar. I have nothing against Edgar, but I just think Edward is a nicer name. So has anyone seen the ships yet? I'm curious about this. I don't know if anybody says. Have you guys seen ships? Okay, let me get to the bottom here. Oh, so you did have a lag. Hopefully you don't anymore. And there is an echo. Is there still an echo? Oh, I'm looping. Oh, it's totally good now. Okay, good. Yeah, so yeah, I do feel much better. Thank you, Lorraine, for saying that I look good because I feel better, even though I'm feeling the energy, guys. Even though I've been working, it is better for me here. I've been so cooped up. I've been in St. Louis, and of course the weather was not great either, and I was feeling it. Okay, so I see a question, but of course YouTube is like, the thing is just scrolling past and now I lost it. So sorry guys, let me just trace it here. Of course, the second I find a question, YouTube moves it. I think they're watching us, guys. Sure, I'm breaking some news to you here. Oh, goodness, sorry. Incarnation is more weight than another. Yes, Lorraine, thank you for answering these questions. That's great. Okay, you have some questions about sessions here. All right, let me find where I left off. Okay, I found it. Okay. Kath, other than NPCs can't learn, is there any perceptible difference we might notice with loved ones who are now NPCs, like with their eyes or other behavior? Have you noticed anything personally? Okay. All right, so this is a very sensitive topic for me, but again, I feel like, you guys are my family. I don't want to sound trite, but that's how I feel. I feel safe with you guys. So I don't have a problem at this point, My dad is actually an NPC. So I'm in Italy now, and his essence has left. Okay. And what I've noticed is that something has changed. And if you don't want to know, I guess you could ascribe it to time has passed, but it's like when when, for example, a year has passed, but the person has aged 30 years kind of thing. That's what it feels like. Something has gone from him. Like, and this is what I want to say to you. If you're curious about somebody, go inside. And I always say inside because we don't have to do this, but for me, it's a good practice. This is how I started connecting. Go inside and just sit in silence. It doesn't have to be a long time. It could be 1 second. And focus on the person. You will know if you feel something. And with a lot of these NPCs, you don't feel anything there anymore. Like, you don't feel like there's a person there. And so you will know. Trust your intuition, because we know. If our intention is to know, we know. And so you're not going to see signs like necessarily the eyes. You could, the eyes or whatever it is. In my father, it's not even his demeanor. It's really that he feels different. He feels different. Like, my mother doesn't feel different. My brother doesn't feel different. And so that's what I'm talking about. So I don't know if you have anybody in mind, like perhaps somebody in your family or somebody like that close to you, but you can tell. Okay. But so in general, also to answer the other side, the other part of your question, when you say, besides the fact that they can't learn, can we tell the difference? No, because the whole point is we've had 300 million NPCs walk around before now. Now we have many more than that. And And the point is not to know they're NPCs. So no, you wouldn't be able to say just by looking at them, or, you know, they have something different about them. So there was a purpose to this, but if you center, you can tell. Are we shifting in June? Okay, so we are not shifting. Okay, there is no shift. We are moving, just like you move in 3D. You're like you're moving houses. And so if you're talking about, so I don't know what you mean by we, so I'm just gonna make sure that I cover all my bases here, because I don't want to confuse anything here. So the people, the group going to the 3D chambers has already all left. Okay, they kind of all left by the end of April. There might have been a few stragglers, but now everybody's gone. This is why a lot of the dark has already gone back to the 25th as well. This is why everything feels a lot lighter, and we're seeing it. That's why, for example, you're seeing that a lot of governments are pulling back a lot of the restrictions. I mean, they're falling like dominoes. Every day there's something. And so, for example, I'll tell you something. I'm getting ready again. My boyfriend is coming. I want to take him to Venice. And I was looking at the train. The train is the only place right now in Italy. And all these restrictions, all the major restrictions they had, fell on May 1st. Okay, so very last minute for me, because I left on the 5th. And all of a sudden, so I figured they all start at the beginning of a new month or whatever it is. The only big restriction that's left, in addition to obviously the thing and the IRS that I was talking about, is that you have to wear an N95 mask on the trains, because science. I'm like, sorry, I cracked myself up. I mean, it's such a joke. All of this is such a joke. But all of a sudden yesterday, so I was like, man, I really don't want to do that. Yesterday, the EU, I saw an email, because I get emails on travel sites. That's the only thing I read, because all I'm interested in is what's going on travel-wise, you know, see beautiful destinations, whatever it is, to be my distraction. And they said, the EU, just yesterday, timing, the EU said, we're removing all mask requirements and mandates from transportation throughout Europe. So I'm waiting for Italy to drop it any minute. But even then, I think I'm going to go on the train without it. And then when they say something like, the EU has removed them, what do you want from me? So this is about the third group, and this is why we're seeing these things. The second group, which is the people going with the aliens, and just making sure that it doesn't move. Hopefully this thing doesn't move and I lose all the questions again. So the second group going with the aliens, they started leaving. They started leaving after the first group left, so the beginning of May. And again, this is going to just increase. The number of them being gone is just going to increase over time. It's going to take about a couple of months. A lot of the people, again, that I'm checking on, they're going with the aliens, they're leaving at the end of June. So I'm thinking, or towards the end of June. So I'm thinking by the end of June, we'll kind of finished. It will be kind of finished. And after that, we leave right away, because we're projecting, we're not taking our bodies. And so we can leave right away. So within a handful of days. In fact, I checked on my mom, because my mom is going with the aliens. And they said that, so I speak with my mom almost daily. And so I asked, I said, will there be a time when I call and she's not there? And they said, yeah, but it's only going to be a handful of days, not even a week. Okay. So that's how I'm keeping track personally of the timeline. So we're not going to be shifting, but we are going to be moving. And it's going to be most likely, I'm expecting, if not the end of June, I'm thinking first week of July at this point. That's what I am planning on. If nothing happens by, let's say this way, let's put it this way, if nothing happens by the second week of July, I'm going to have to reconsider all of this, because, I'm going to have a chat with the 25th. All right, Holly, any news you can leak from your sessions that you've just done? Yeah, so some of the stuff I'm telling you is from this. I want to tell you something. So I'm glad you brought this up, because I am not trying to keep secrets from you guys. In fact, I'm trying to get the information out as quickly as I can. It's just that, again, I'm just ahead because I need to prepare, right? I don't want you guys to be left without, put everything out and then you're left without videos to watch while I'm working on another session. It might take me 2-3 weeks to work on a session. So that's why sometimes you guys are behind. But basically, so this particular session you're watching right now, the one that I think you either had 1 or 2 videos I think you've had so far from this session, has been the most astounding session for me, because I've gone through so many breakthroughs during it, or that led up to it. It includes a series of 3 videos on a new plant medicine experience I had, where, oh my goodness, it was a whole new level. And in fact, then I asked the 25th, and they confirmed, and they explained a lot of stuff that happened, because I didn't even understand the full thing. Okay. And so I have all of that coming out. Let me see if there is anything else specific. I mean, just, just more of the stuff. Is more like who we are, why we do certain things. There was a lot of stuff about source, how this actually works. And again, the next level from what we've been told so far. I mean, you guys, I cannot wait. And let me tell you, it was so hard for me to wrap my mind around, because it was so new. It was so unheard of for me, some of the stuff, that I was actually considering not releasing it, because I'm like, okay, I don't want to confuse the whole world. If you guys know, and I think I mentioned this, I started posting my sessions, I think it was December or maybe the end of November last year, 2021. But my first session was in August. It took me 4 months to wrap my mind around it, all this information, and to be like, okay, I just have to release it. The 25th didn't tell me I had to release it, because you guys know the 25th always says, once it's in the consciousness, in the collective conscious, once it's been received, once it's been spoken, then it's already out there. You guys would have gotten it just as well, as even if I didn't have a YouTube channel. But it took me, so it was my choice to do this, but it took me, again, 4 or 5 months to get it out. And so I was wrapping my mind around that one session that you guys are watching right now, because you'll know when you see it what I'm talking about. But then I realized that you have a right to see it, again, we're doing this together. So if I'm having a breakthrough, it's helping the collective, just like I'm benefiting from you guys doing work that you're doing. So I feel like it's my, I have to share it. So I'm really curious to see what you guys think. Okay, Kath, New Age teachings talk about anchoring the light as light workers and how our auras affect people positively. Is there anything to that, or is it just something we want to believe to make us good? Yeah. So this is new, and this is actually from the session that so it's my last session. The one you guys are watching is my second to last, and this is the last session that I finished transcribing today. This has been the biggest issue on this planet, is that we want to believe that we are good. We, the light workers on the side of the light. Now, it makes sense, right? There is no judgment here. We're not doing anything wrong. We are the side of the light. So we tend to want to keep our vibration high and do certain work. It makes sense, right? It's in a game. This is your strategy. This is what you do. However, the problem is, by doing all of this, like these things, like we're anchoring the light as if we're better, we are doing certain things nobody else is doing. I know you don't mean it this way, Kath. That's why you're asking the question, okay? But I'm saying this is the message in all the stuff we hear. And this is stuff I've heard too, okay? This is what I grew, how I got here. I grew through these things. And then something was always sounding a little bit off here and there. That's why I got to the point where I basically had my own guidance. There was always this idea of like, it feels a little, and I'm sorry, you guys, I am switching because I'm always making sure the thing is not moving. So it's not that I want to look at you guys, but I want to make sure YouTube is not scrolling with my feed here. There's always, and I'm sure you've noticed this, there is always this idea in the New Age spirituality community that somehow we are better. This is what has caused us to take down this planet right there. It's okay to judge. We have to judge to keep this reality going. It's okay. The problem is that we have judged and then decided we are better. And we do this. I do this. Okay. Let's not even say we. I do this. Okay. It's normal. We're here. We do it. But and this is okay for the people going to hang out with the aliens. It's okay because they don't have to do a life review. They're going to hang out with the aliens. The aliens believe in ascension. The aliens believe in being a light worker and how it's so much better to be a light worker than not. And I mean, it makes sense, right? Even when we think of it from our perspective, it makes sense. I mean, I would rather have a bunch of nice people around doing nice things than the opposite, the things we become aware of that are going on in this world. Of course, at the same time, the judgment of us being better, like in this case, somehow there's only a group of us that are doing this, that we're carrying the world, kind of thing. This has become a problem. And again, the aliens do have the same judgments, because again, we're just like them. We are them. They are us. But this is something we're going to have to get over on the earth, and we're going to have to learn. And again, I have a whole session coming out about this, so I don't want to belabor the point here. But we have to learn that no, we are not special. Everybody's special, if you want to put it that way, and that we're all equal. We really just didn't know what we're doing here. We're playing, and we just screwed up, all of us. And part of us on the side of the light screwing up is this idea that, we're so separate from everybody else because we're better. So it's unfortunate, but again, we didn't know. Okay, we're doing our best. We do want to be good people. But at the end of the day, what does good mean? We don't have to be anything, because we are everything. We are the ones who judge. We are the ones that think how I behave is good. I can tell you right now that if all of us lived in the same house, we would start to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you left your socks on the floor. Does it mean you're not a light worker anymore? Does it mean you're not a good person? That's what I'm talking about. This might seem like a silly example, but this is what we do, isn't it? The closer we are, the more we judge. And again, we're supposed to here. It wasn't the judging that's doomed this game. It was the judging plus the conclusion that, well, since they're different from me, it means that I'm better. Because of course we want to think that we are better. It's normal. So it's problematic. At any rate, so hope I answered your question there. Crystal, did you record the whole session? Would you post a full session like you do for your first? Yeah, so here's why I don't do that. Okay, so Lorraine, okay, so that I think Lorraine here answer. She said, Clay is not posting full sessions. They run about 5 hours long, so too long and way too much info to absorb. Yeah, that's what it is. You would have to listen to it or repeat it again and again, and then it's hard to separate, right? And it's a lot. It really is a lot. I mean, I get exhausted, I have to tell you. The sessions, not from the session itself, from just like even preparing all these things. And even mentally, I mean, like emotionally, it's a lot of information. And so I don't think, I did that for my first session, because my first session was actually the shortest. I think it was about maybe 2 hours long, but because we didn't know what to expect. I mean, I went in just asking what's going on. And so it was a surprise to me. Okay. All right. Jill, if everything on your earth is translucent and crystalline, do we still have sense of smell, or will we need to recreate it? No, we'll have all our senses. Yeah, I've actually asked them this specifically, and they said, no, we'll have all our senses, but we'll have many more than just the 5 senses. We'll have, 25, 30 senses. So at the same time, in terms of will we need to recreate it, you can recreate anything you want. So even if there was something else that you want to recreate, you absolutely can. All right, Crystal. Will it be acceptable not to wear clothes on your earth? That is funny, Crystal. And the reason it's funny is because I asked the same question. That's hilarious. I love it that you guys are so we're like one mind here. I love it. Okay. So I asked about what we'll be wearing on your earth. And they said, again, we're energy. And they said, we don't have to wear anything. The reason we will be wearing clothes is one, obviously for the aliens. The aliens expect when they come to see people clothed or clothed. I don't know how you pronounce that. You get it. You know what I'm saying. And also they mentioned that we could be naked on your earth, and we wouldn't feel shame. We wouldn't feel, what's the word I use? We wouldn't feel, we would not be embarrassed, but also we would not have lost. And they said, if there is anyone who has lost then they would go and try to understand where this is coming from. So absolutely, we could walk around naked, because again, we could walk around just as pure energy. In fact, just because we decided we're going to have avatars that pretty much remind us of Earth, but of course, much improved, you don't have to. Nobody, not even here, nobody has to adopt what others have adopted. So if you, for example, on your Earth decide that you want to be a star, you can be a star. Or you want to show up in different forms and shapeshift in front of people, it's totally fine. So there are no rules. But most of us keep in mind, we're going to a new Earth. So we very much want it to be like Earth in many ways, because for sentimental reasons, apparently I'm not the only sentimental person, there you go. For sentimental reasons, we do want to recreate a lot of what we had here, which I love it, it works for me. So I know many of you do want, you know, again, we want to retain our past, or what we consider our past, even though, keep in mind, everything is happening now. If you wanted to switch your focus, which we're not going to do, but if you wanted to switch your focus and relive this planet, say even from 10 years ago, you could, and it would be present. Let's keep in mind, time is not real. So even though this is going to be taken down, this game board, this planet, there is a version of the Matrix that has this planet in it. You can go there and experience it right now. So if you wanted to go and see the Middle Ages here or the Renaissance here, you could. But we go to where our focus goes to places that are interesting and exciting for us. That's why we're not going to want to do this. We're going to be on New Earth, fully focused on that. Okay. So let's see. EDC, I started watching your older videos, going through them again slowly. EDC, I am actually, as soon as I finish transcribing or I finish making the videos for this, I still have to check the transcription, the transcript and so on. So I still have several days work on this one. But as soon as I'm done uploading these, I'm actually going to go through all the sessions again, because it's so much, even for me, sometimes I have trouble keeping it straight. So it's helpful for me to reread or re-listen to like the word and the exact words they use for certain concepts, because of course we tend to filter things, especially through memory. We tend to filter things based on what we believe. Sometimes I know I do that. And so it's interesting for me to go back and figure out. And many times I find new layers to the information they've given us. Holly, oh yes, there are pretty long sessions already, aren't they? Yeah, yeah. Holly, I love doing that, EDC. I guess so much from revisiting them. Yeah, thank you, Holly. Yeah, as I said, I do too. I am a spectator in that sense, like you guys. You know, I also have to absorb all these things as they come through. Crystal, I know she separated into 2 videos before. Yes, Crystal, I did. And again, it's just not the best way to provide this information. I don't think this would work as well. It's too much. It really is becoming too much. That was actually the first session, as shocking as it was to me to get this information, was actually the easiest one of them all in that sense. Because they weren't even, I don't know if you've noticed this. I noticed it because again, it's written, right? When I transcribe it, it's written. I remember the first session was question, a line, 2 lines, whatever it was, and the answer was a line or 2 lines. A long answer might be a paragraph like this long. Now, when I ask a question, I have paragraphs that are like maybe 2 pages long. And the reason is because they now, and they've actually explained that to me, they've said, we get the opportunity to talk about what we want to talk about. So my question just becomes leverage for them to tell us the things they want to tell us. And so it just wouldn't work the same way. In fact, if anything, I should be doing 1 video per question, considering they're so long, so that I don't muddy the water, but to keep them at a certain length for you guys, so you're not watching like a 5-minute video sometimes, then I do. I try to keep it at, you know, at around 20 minutes. All right. Claire will, okay, Jill, Claire will answer, but she has said by the 25th, they will have expanded senses, more senses. Yes, thank you, Lorraine. Exactly. Holly, my daughter said, how come there are dinosaur heads found in the dirt? Were they really? Was it toys left over from a reset? I love that. I don't know how old your daughter is, but that's such a cool question. It's what we think they're dinosaur heads if they are dinosaur heads, and they're actually just telling me some of them are not even dinosaur heads, meaning first of all they've already told us there are no dinosaurs, but they were big animals. Okay, and what they're saying is that we might have seen some of these, they might have been completely different animals. It doesn't mean that they were necessarily dinosaurs. And they're also telling me some of them were just fabricated, they're not even dinosaur heads, not even animal heads that we think that we were later told were dinosaurs. So yeah, no, they're not toys. They're literally, you know, there were animals here, and they will be left doing resets, because again, resets, and we know this, we don't eliminate everything. We have left clues from each and every reset we've done. And so if I wanted to go and see from a 3D perspective and find out about all the resets we have done, I could. Okay, and same with you guys. I'm saying I as an example. So we do leave clues. Kath, I think the first ones she posted were still her reading out of the transcript. Yes, so even the first two were the transcript. I didn't just post, you cannot just post the audio. It's too much, it's very low. I speak very low when I'm doing that. There's cats meowing and whatnot. There's a lot of yawning, you guys, because you're in between. I'm lying down, and you're in between, of course, your alpha, your beta and alpha waves, and you're in theta, right? And you're about to fall asleep. And I do that for, like, again, 4 or 5 hours at a time. So it would still have to be a transcript. And by the way, I cough a lot too. You guys think I cough a lot in videos? I cough a lot during it's very annoying when I'm transcribing all the coughing. I've actually asked about this because remember, you guys, I don't know if you see some of my videos where I said, oh my goodness, I had a coughing fit. Why? I don't think I've ever coughed so much in my life as I have over the last few months. And I thought, I'm not used to talking so much. And because normally I'm just working on my computer all day, and I don't talk that much. I talk with my daughter, you know, yes, no, don't do this, don't do that, whatever, right? And I actually asked, I said, this is so weird. Why am I coughing so much? And they basically said that it's a way of grounding my body and dealing with the energy that's coming through, which actually makes sense because you probably have seen other people yawning. I also yawn when I'm dealing with energy. Sometimes so somebody might be telling me something, and if it's something that, you know, gets absorbed and I have to ground, I'll yawn right away, and I might be perfectly rested. And so I'm lucky because I know people who burp when they clear energy. So I'm like, oh my God, what if I were burping the whole time? So listen, I'll take the coffee and it's fine, whatever. Okay, so Crystal, yes, Catherine, yeah. So Lorraine, wow, and not thought of it this way. No incarnation has more weight than any other. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it's all now. We're just focused here right now. That's all. That's why we think this incarnation is so important. We have had, and the 21st has said, I know we've had a really rough ride in many ways. Many of us have had a really rough ride in this particular lifetime, but all in all, we've had a great time here on this planet. And they said, when you realize you see all your incarnations, we've had incarnations that were really a ton of fun here. Because there was a time when this was fun, although it started going south right away. But going south doesn't mean we're at the extreme we are at today, okay? And so we've had fun here. I mean, just a matter of probability, you know, you as an essence want to experience different things. You would have not had the same like troublesome and difficult and challenging experience all the time. So it makes sense to me. I actually can't wait to see what other incarnations I've had here. Okay, let's see. Sioban. And again, I apologize if I am saying this wrong. It's a beautiful name. I just don't know how you pronounce it. Question. Have you had past lives on Earth with Lorraine and Carolyn? Oh, that's interesting. Excuse me, guys. Of the 12,000 light workers, so just find it strange there are so few of us here. Maybe we're all connected through our ancestors. All right, so these are good questions. Okay, so first of all, have you had past lives on Earth with Lorraine Caroline? You know what? So again, first of all, there's no past lives because there is no time. But I know you just mean it as in, you know, I've had other experiences here with these ladies. I would say yes. We do not find each other by chance. We are always interested, as I should say always. normally, as essences, we are interested in playing with our teammates. It's like you're on a team and you kind of want to hang out with your teammates. So Carolyn is a light worker. So I know I've known her for a million years, however long we've been around. And Carolyn is Carolyn is a light worker, one of the 12,000. So we work together basically. And Lorraine is a light worker, as in she's on the team of the light. So I know, no, we would have not known. You do not connect with people like this unless you know them, okay? And so, and you know this, you probably had people in your life that you meet them and you're like, I feel like I know this person. This is exactly how I feel with these people. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. So I don't know, like I haven't asked, but I just know it. I mean, I assume it's true. So the 12,000 light workers, I just find it strange that there are so few of us here. Maybe we're all connected through our ancestors. I don't know what you mean there are so few of us here. So here, if you mean on this channel, there are several light workers on this channel. I've actually asked that. And I don't mean light workers in the generic term of the word, even though there are a lot of us here from the light. And I mean, as you know, the 25th talks of them as the 12,000, there are several on this channel. And then if you mean here as in on Earth, there's only 12,000 light workers. Again, the workers of the light, you know, the busy bees of the light that do this particular job in the multiverse. So it's all of us here right now. So there are a few. It's all of us. And why 12,000? You might ask, why only 12,000? Because it's what I asked in the beginning. This is how I found out we only have 12,000, because I remember my very first session. I was like, so how many light workers are there? And I was hoping, because again, I thought it was a numbers game, right? I still believed in ascension at the time. I still believed as in we're on the team of the light. We gotta destroy the bad guys, whatever it is. We gotta shift, you know, all these things that they tell us. And so I asked, how many light workers are here? And I was all cozying up to the answer, expecting that it would say millions. And there's more and more every day. And they're like 12,000. I actually fought them. In my head, I could hear myself going, oh no, at minimum, give me 144,000. Everybody knows there's 144,000. They're like 12,000. Like they were like telling me again, it's 12,000. And so we asked, why 12,000? They said, because that's more than enough. That's always been enough. Imagine one light worker, one of the 12,000 can change the vibration of an entire continent. This is how powerful we are. Now, I don't want to create confusion here. The light workers are no more powerful than anybody else, okay? We just do this more consciously at an unconscious level, if it makes sense. In other words, we never get, and I've actually asked about this, so there will be a video coming out about this. We never get so lost in the game that we forget our duties. That's the difference. Now, from a 3D perspective, I didn't even know it was one out of 12,000, so I've forgotten everything, okay? But at an essence level, you always remember not to get too lost in the game, okay? That's the difference. So each one of us is extremely powerful. Each one of us, I mean, we create and take down dimensions. So this is what we're talking about, this kind of power we're talking about. But so in this case, 12,000 is more than enough, and we're all here doing this. So I hope that answers your question. I don't know what you meant by maybe we're all connected through our ancestors. Now, again, we don't have ancestors because there is no time. If you mean like from our perspective, how we're seeing people come and go, that's not how we would be connected. I mean, we could, yes and no, meaning not as in a 3D way. You know, it's like, oh, you're my grand uncle. Your great uncle kind of thing, but we are in the sense of, yes, we are connected in the sense that we are all on the same team. So guess what, we're coming back and say, okay, let's play these new roles now, but it's always us because it's friends, right? You want to see your friends. Okay, EDC, Edward. I had a dream where I could taste eating chocolate, so we would be surely able to taste what we think. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Anything you think is real. At the end of the day, we're just thinking this. And now we just thought, we're bored with this, we're going to think of something else. And all of a sudden it's coming down. That's how simple it is. Wow, good point, tasting our thoughts, Holly. Yeah, no, that is a good point. That was good. Calf. For those getting picked up by aliens, what awareness level do they need to be? Okay, that's a good question. Or does it not matter? I know the 25th said who got V'd will not be going to New Earth, so are most in 3D chambers. Okay. Interesting. So there's a few things here I want to tell you. And sorry, guys, this chair is so tall, my feet cannot touch the floor. While I am not a basketball player, I have never felt like a child like this. That's why I'm like, kind of like moving in my chair because I'm a little bit uncomfortable. I hadn't planned this through, I guess. All right. For those getting picked up by aliens, what awareness level do they need to be? Or does it not matter? To be picked up by the aliens, simply, you must not be a sleeper. In other words, a sleeper would have had a heart attack. Okay, I mean, I would have a heart attack, and I am aware that there are aliens out there. And so, and again, just because we align ourselves, so we are aliens, we all know there are aliens, but from a conscious perspective. So you don't have to be, so anything 4 and above, since we consider to be people, the sleepers, to be 3D, anything 4 and above, you can be picked up by the aliens. You could be 12 dimensional awareness level and still be going with the aliens. Going to New Earth doesn't mean you're better or more aware or more anything than people going with the aliens. It's a different choice. In fact, a lot of people going with the aliens in 100 years are going to come to New Earth, right? So they just want to go have another experience first. That's all. So I know the 25th said who got V'd will not be going to New Earth, so are most in 3D chambers. Okay, so the 25th has actually said that none of the 12,000 are V'd. Did it not say that nobody going to New Earth, that everyone going to New Earth did not get it? Now, I am assuming, let me see if they're saying something. Let's just ask. Okay, did everybody on New Earth, yeah, did let's phrase this properly. Does anyone on New Earth has been V'd? They actually said there's a handful of people. Yeah. And so basically this is something that came up a few days ago, I think, in the comments of one of the videos where we're talking about this. So if you get the V, doesn't mean that you just are aligning and you just don't want to know, right? Going to New Earth simply means you want to know certain things. That's it. You want to know this is a game, period. That's all it means. And so I'm most in the 3D chambers. Okay, I'm just making sure that I'm answering your question here. And so basically, most people, yes, who have taken it have gone to 3D chambers. That was part of the alignment, right? The alignment of what they wanted to believe, which doesn't mean that there might have been people going to the 3D chambers who didn't have it. You know, they might be living in a place where it wasn't required or whatever it is. So it's not like that means where you're going, but most likely, the people who took it, they were aligning with the fact that they believe the government, they believe the pharmaceutical companies are our friends, and you know, money's just cherry on top. Really, they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart, whatever it is. But so there are even people who have taken the V who are going with the aliens, and that's why the aliens have to we'll have to put them in med beds and whatever. Of course, they don't need med beds. We already know the essence decides what happens to the body. But in their case, they don't want to know this is a game. They can do this with their thought. And so, of course, they have to pretend that they have technology like a med bed or an energetic shower that is curing them. Okay, it's making them look 20 years old again, which is great. It's wonderful. I mean, we would have loved having this here. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I would have loved it. And but it doesn't mean you can take as an essence, you might desire to have an experience that even though is on the surface, very low level, low vibrational level, it doesn't mean you have to use it as low vibrational level, okay? I think one example they gave us, and there was actually an example in the transcript from today, and I can't think of what it was. They gave me another example today, but I'll tell you one example that I remember is that I have, and you guys have seen this video, I don't remember which video it was, but anyway, I have actually been drunk a handful of times in my life. I don't really like alcohol, but I went on a trip with friends from the United States when they were doing a year abroad after high school. I was an exchange student in high school in the US, and I came back here to finish school here after that experience. And so I went to Eastern Europe. We did the Eurail, which is a super cool thing we do in Europe, where you get a month for like really cheap, where you can hop on any trains anywhere you want. So we did a month, and my goodness, we just wanted to party. So it was fun. And we had a great time. And they were trying to get me drunk every time, for the simple reason that when I drink, I become extremely funny. Apparently I started cracking jokes. I mean, I was like doing all kinds of antics. It was fun. It was really fun. Now, as you know, many people, a lot of people, I'm not saying many people, there are people who might have a completely different experience. The 25th explained to us, alcohol was invented with a low vibrational intention behind it. It was invented by the dark. So most people, when they have it, they expect a certain low vibrational experience. So they'll be brought to a parallel low vibrational reality. Their focus will be switched, because again, it's a code, which means you just switch your focus to another reality, and the reality is not so great, okay? But when I have it, and I know I'm not the only one, I switch to, if I'm not here, where do I go? I go to the 25th. I always have. We all do, because that's where we are right now. As we're speaking, we're in the 25th, hanging out, pretending to be in these bodies, okay? So that's what I do. In the 25th, we crack ourselves up all the time. In fact, you know, some of these sessions, I mean, all they do is laugh, you know? So you know this, you've seen what kind of personality they have. It's us, right? Don't we love cracking ourselves up all the time? And we love humor, okay? We have EDC here, and Holly, they crack me up all the time. So this is how it is. And so it's not about the code, it's about what the essence wants to experience. So that is to say, this was a long way to answer your question, which is to say, you as an essence might choose to take the B, to see what that's like. It doesn't mean that you're asleep. It doesn't mean that a lot of people here, my mother and my brother didn't want to take it, but guess what? They've been forced. What could they do? People have had to take it to save their jobs. What if they are the only breadwinner in the family? So it doesn't mean you don't want to go to New Earth, okay? It's not an equation, okay? But they're telling me there are a few people on New Earth who will have this. And when I think about it, and that's what they're telling me, actually, they're telling me now that the reason this is important, that we wanted that, is because it's one of the experiences that we'll want to integrate. Remember, we are going to amplify ourselves by multiplying each one of us by 3.5 million people, meaning that we're going to absorb all the experiences from the collective. So someone had to have this experience so we can integrate it. Okay, so we are grateful. I am grateful that this is happening. We will have access to all the experiences, so we integrate them and we move on. And this is how we know everything, really, at that point. All right. And if I do not answer to satisfaction for whatever reason, or I'm leaving something out from your questions, please tell me again. I'm scrolling down, I'll get to it, and I will elaborate. If anything, I feel like I'm belaboring some of these, and I don't want to, you know, I can talk about these things all day long. You guys know this. So I am trying to scroll through here somewhat quickly. Okay, Lorraine. Question, still wondering about the story those going with the off-worlders will think. Okay, that's an excellent question. I mean, we know all of us are wondering, because if you think of yourself, again, if a ship stops on my porch here, I mean, I'm gonna freak out, okay? As curious as I am, I would probably freak out. Not only, what if it's in the middle of the night, or I'm inside, how are they getting me out? Okay, or where am I finding? So my cats hide even when my daughter is running around. So how are we finding the cat? I mean, I have questions like this, Lorraine, so I get it. I do believe, if I understand what they've said, again, we're not going to be like we are in our daily life. There's going to be like some sort of, I don't know if they're going to use technology, but really at the end of the day, you know, even behind technology, it's always the intention. There's going to be an energy where everything's going to be much calmer. So no one is going to freak out or have the reaction, the normal, what we consider normal reaction you would have, okay? If I all of a sudden turn around and I saw a man over there, it doesn't even have to be an alien. I would be completely startled. I would have a heart attack, all right? So it totally makes sense that we're thinking about these things. But I do believe that basically there's going to be, because for example, if you're inside, let's think about the logistics. If you're inside, how would you even know there's a ship outside? I spend days inside my place. For all I know, there might be a storm outside and I don't even realize. Sometimes I'm so lost in what I'm doing. How would I even know to go outside? What are they doing? Like a megaphone and calling people out? And then if I hear somebody calling out, like I'm going out. So I do believe that things will be managed in the sense of not the way we think. Something like this will be done. Because if you had a megaphone outside, especially in a country like Italy, you don't want to go outside. You probably want to hide somewhere like I'm not home. Okay. So it's not going to be, I do believe somehow they're going to try, they're going to know where people are. So they would know where the cat is. And they might even have technology where they're kind of, it's almost like a teleporting kind of thing, you know? And I don't know that it works like that. I'm just saying. So we're asking from a 3D perspective, but I'm sure that the energy will be managed, because we already know the energy is being managed for the simple reason that there will be families that are split. Not everybody's going with the aliens, and somebody's being left behind. Like in my case, it's going to be my mother and brother going with the aliens. My father's going to be left here. He's not going to realize. So obviously, it cannot be a megaphone outside because he would hear it. But somehow he's not going to realize that they're gone, and they're going to be gone for days before we take this down. And he's not going to. He's going to think nothing of it. So I don't know exactly how, but if you're talking about the story specifically, it depends on what people want to hear. They might tell people, because even that is scary, right? If they say, oh, the dark is going to destroy the planet, we're saving you. Or even if they're saying a neutral story, oh, we've heard, we're showing up. You don't know us. In fact, you've been told we don't exist and we're very evil, because that's what the movies have put out to do, to scare us to, so we could think the aliens are evil. And but now we're here to save you. You know, that would be scary. And then they're saying, oh, a meteorite is gonna hit the planet Earth. I mean, you would be extremely distraught. So I do believe the more I think about it, and I will ask for confirmation from this, they're telling me yes, but they're not telling me the details because I am talking, that we're gonna be, the energy is gonna be managed, the vibration is gonna be managed. It's almost like you're gonna be kept in a stalled situation, like in a stasis, where you wouldn't react. And they have spoken about this already. You will not react the way we normally react. Even when you don't see your loved ones for several days, or you don't hear from somebody that you hear from every day, say you're trying to reach your son and you can't reach your son, you're not going to freak out. So I think that's what's happening. Excuse me 1 second, guys. The energy. I was talking a lot though. It's probably what it is this time. So yeah, I don't know a specific story. They've told us there is no specific story. And Lorraine, I don't remember if this was the session I did with you with Carolyn, and that's probably why you're asking this, because I do have something like this coming out where it says that they will have several stories about this, and it will just be based on they're trying not to scare people. Okay. Okay. Lorraine, interesting concept, kind of a, I don't know how you pronounce that word, Alcyon moment. So they are not freaking out. Yeah. Clea actually asked this question. What question is that about clothes? Yeah, at some point it will not have these bodies. We will not have these bodies on the earth. We'll have a crystalline energy body, but if we want clothes, we can create. Actually, they did tell us, just to add to that, I don't know if I mentioned it, that we will wear white tunics for the most part, just because they go with the crystalline look. We're still going to be vain, I guess. Hey, we're going to get some awesome bodies. I say we show them off. But yeah, so basically we can have whatever we want. If you want to wear goth, leggings and piercings, whatever, you can have whatever you want. And there is absolutely no judgment. It's all about fun. So that's all it is. Holly, oh my, the Ministry of Health. Yeah, yes, that's, God help us. We're the Ministry of Health and we're here to help. Question, Akari, since we will be in a sort of God state in the new earth, yes, is it possible to create a whole new reality inside the comforts of my own home, complete with my own NPCs, quests, mythical creatures? Okay, I love it. Okay, so I want to specify something before I answer. You saying we'll be in a sort of God state. One is not a sort of, because we are source. There is no difference between us and source in that sense, okay? Now, we were created by source, okay? But we are source. Again, you guys, when you see the videos that I have prepared for you, they should be out by the end of this week. I think they're going to start coming out. I think I have 1 or 2 videos before that, and then the 3 videos from the series. And then we can talk again after that. I'll definitely do one more live in June. And so again, we are source. And so the difference between now, because we're source now, the difference between now and we're on new earth is that on new earth, we're going to be acting, we're going to be consciously acting as our higher selves. Here, our higher selves are always trying to knock stuff into our heads, at least my stubborn head. But on new earth, we're going to be aware of that. And so we're going to be our higher selves. So we're already source now. That's what I want to say. We're in a state of being like God here, except we don't want to know it. And so is it possible to create a whole new reality? Yes. You don't even have to create it inside the whole house, because again, the house also is made up. For all you know, you can have a whole planet, and you can pretend that it's when you open this door to the right, that you have a whole planet in there. You open the one to the left and you have a medieval place there. You can even invite your friends and say, hey, let's hang out in a medieval town today. Yeah, everything's possible. This is what it means to be unlimited in our potential. It's going to be so much fun, guys. It really is going to be a lot of fun. You can totally have quests, and you can create NPCs. You can absolutely create, projections of people. You can create anything you want. They're not going to be NPCs as in actual characters that other people are going to have to deal with. That's what I mean by we don't create other people. We don't have spare bodies on your earth. But you can absolutely create images that look real, just like when Lorraine was talking about, can I create food? Of course you can. You can believe it is real because it is real when you create it. Just like the houses, while they're all holographic and we know they're not real, they do feel very real. We can make them feel very real to us. I expect to have a house like I have here. It's going to look different, but I'm still going to have a bed, and we don't need to sleep. That kind of thing. That's what I'm talking about. Akari recently, so Lorraine is saying, Akari recently made a few days ago, Clea actually talked all about this concept. Yeah. As in we could have a room in our house that is a whole planet, all ours. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you're paying attention, Lorraine. I'm just testing you, All right. So that's great confirmation, Clea. Thank you, EDC. Akari. One thing I've noticed these past few months is that it's easier to see waves in the air, particles moving, lights around people's heads. Are these sides of the matrix breaking down? Not necessarily. Yes, it can be, absolutely. So the matrix is breaking down, and so if you're paying attention, yes, you could see it. I say not necessarily because the 3D people weren't seeing it, or if they were seeing it. So there was a video about this a while ago where they said that the stuff is happening in front of our eyes all the time, where we know this is not real, except we ignore it, okay? We wouldn't even think of talking about it because we ignore it so much that we don't even want to know. We don't know. We're like, oh no, I've never seen that before, whereas it's not true, right? So yeah, could it be a sign of that? Yes. It could also be a sign that you want to see it now. You're open to seeing it, because we're all evolving, aren't we? We're all becoming more and more open. I told you in the beginning, for example, this information was completely blowing my mind. It still is. I mean, you guys, when you you check the last session, it's still blowing my mind. But I'm saying in the beginning that I became more comfortable with it, because we evolve all the time. Once your intention is to open up to certain things, I mean, there's no end in sight. And the 25th, I said this. The problem is that when we allow one little thing, we don't know where that's going to take, because it's like opening, I always use the analogy of the crack in a dam. You don't need to bomb down a dam to make it collapse. You create a small crack and the pressure of the water will take care of it. It will collapse eventually. And this is what's happening because you've opened yourself up. All of a sudden you're seeing things. The things were there all the time. Now, some of it, again, might be even more visible to somebody maybe that's seen them forever, might be even more visible because it is crumbling. But to you, it might just be that now you are so open, and I know you are. All right, so Akari. Oh, you're saying that you probably missed the video about that. I don't know if it's already out. Is it already out, that video? Maybe. Lorraine made it sound like it is. It probably is. So, okay. Holly, thanks for all of you do, Claire. Oh, you rock so much. Thank you. That is very, very kind. I do appreciate it. Okay. CK Media Training. Hi, Claire, and everyone else in this group. Lovely to catch you live. Yes, thank you. And lovely to have you here. I just love we're doing this together. So, Kath, Akari, I've noticed that more too, yes. If I stare at a spot on the wall, I can see hundreds of multicolored dots swimming in a circle. I think it is the made up of the matrix. Absolutely. Yeah, this is what it's always been made up of. So here's what happens. A lot of people, and Carolyn did say it was okay to say this. Carolyn had her first or only plant medicine experience with me. She was seeing colors, and you probably know if you know anybody who's had this experience. She was seeing colors. She was seeing 3D stuff become like 7D, like all kinds of moving around and with her eyes open. This didn't happen to me. I had to close my eyes and then I connected. But for her, she was seeing everything break down, light. What is this? This is simply you're seeing. She was seeing through the floor, for example. This is simply you're seeing. This is not real. You would not be able to do this if this was solid the way that we think it is. We already know this. Even science is telling us this stuff is not solid. It's all matter. It's all frozen energy. So absolutely, you guys are seeing this. I have no doubt. And it is the makeup of the matrix. Yes. So that's a good call, Kath. Okay, Jill. When the NPC bodies dissolve with the planet, will the memories as NPC also be gone or transferred to the original soul essence? So I'm assuming you're talking about the NPCs who had essence in them, meaning that now they've gone to the 3D chambers. I don't think you're talking, because there are NPCs here who never had an essence in them. So you're asking, will the memories as NPC also be gone? The NPC doesn't really have memories. So if you're talking about the time lapse time between the essence being gone, say, to the 3D chambers and the takedown, which is going to be what, a month or two, they're not doing anything different. So they're not, so no, these are not real. They might not even remember what they've done, because NPCs are very automated. They don't think like us. So let me tell you something, and I've asked about this, and this will be in a video that's coming out. It was just a curiosity, and I wanted to share with you guys. I know a person who I didn't realize she was an NPC. She's a friend of my boyfriend, so I didn't know her that well, or I didn't know her that long, but she's a lovely person. She's a really nice person. And I didn't realize she was an NPC until we were having this conversation one time. I was like, oh my gosh. And I realized this is what I mean by they're no different, but then if you pay attention, something will pop up and you're like, whoa, and you feel it. And her life, I mean, it's all the same. It is all the same. There are memories that you need to have. It's like, I don't remember what I did 2 weeks ago, because it was a day just like any other. And this is what I'm talking about. There will be no memories. It's not like this NPC is changing the world in the last 2 months and all of a sudden. So yeah, the memories will be gone for a simple reason. The body really doesn't have memories that go beyond it's the essence that has memories, experiences, etc. So the body without the essence, hopefully the least, the most you can aspire to do is that it won't start breaking down and looping, because obviously that becomes hard for the people around it. But the original soul essence, especially these people going to the 3D chambers, they wouldn't want to know. They wouldn't want any of that. Not only, remember, they've lost time, okay? So this is so far away from them. They really don't want to know this is even here. Akari, yes, Kath, like static from a TV. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, you guys are right on. That's exactly what's happening. Kath, Akari. Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, someone else sees it too. I'm not crazy. No, you guys are not crazy. I want you to stop doubting yourselves. You could be the only person seeing something, and it doesn't mean you're crazy. And I have gotten to that point a long time ago where I'm like, you know what? I give up. I'm like, I cannot, nobody else sees things like I do. Because again, we were isolated at the time. Now I realize I'm not alone. But you know what? It doesn't mean I'm wrong. Why am I wrong? They're wrong for all I know. And I know we doubt ourselves. It's normal. I'm being facetious here. But the point is, I don't want you guys to doubt yourselves because you've done so much work to be here at this time. We are not here by chance, okay? All right, Akari. Sometimes I also see like a glowing yellow green net honeycomb-like pattern when I wake up. That's so cool. That's very cool. And I don't know if you guys remember, I put out a video about this. I was asking about auras, about people that see auras. And the 25th told us, because this applies here, so I want to mention it. The 25th told us, if you want to see auras, you will see auras. So you guys, again, you want to see this because a lot of the stuff has always been around. So for example, I don't see auras because I never thought of seeing them and I don't want to see them. I want to be very much in 3D when I'm here. I've been in 3D. I've even been an atheist for 30 years. Okay, so I don't want to see auras and weird stuff, right? Weird stuff. That's what I'm saying. You guys are open. This is happening. Okay, so nothing strange about it. In fact, it totally makes sense. CK Media Training. Thank you, Claire, for all the work you do. You deserve a holiday. Thank you. I will take it, guys, because I really am. And I don't want to be completely exhausted. It's not even fair to my daughter. All she does, she comes here, tries to hug me. And I'm like, don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me because I'm transcribing. So I might be missing something. And I don't feel good about it. I just need to, I need to take a little break. Okay, Lorraine, also see that as well. Yeah, yeah, doesn't surprise me. Holly. Same Akari, but I've seen that since I was 20. Yeah, I wonder what it is. I see the honeycomb pattern too. It's the grid. It's just a grid. And not only, again, you could just ask Holly. You'll have the answer. So Crystal, understandable, Claire. Thank you. Rose, thank you for your service to others. It's service to us. It's all of us. So it's not just to others, but thank you for saying that. The information is a lifesaver to know what is really happening. It has, I can tell you, it has given me comfort. And I am so glad to hear that it's giving other people comfort, you guys as well, because we've gone through so much. And what do we expose ourselves to? All we get is bombarded with negative information. So it's nice to have a little corner where we can actually get something more positive. And by positive, I don't mean like hopium kind of thing. I have checked a bunch of stuff. And again, I'm looking for the signs. I told you the third sign already came through for me. I'm looking for the signs, but it does feel good to me. At the end of the day, where are they teaching us? They're teaching us not to judge, not to judge, because again, we have to judge this reality. This is literally how it works. We have to judge it in order to separate ourselves. And we do want to believe in separation, but they're teaching us there's so much more to how we see things. Things are not necessarily the way we look at them. And I think this is a good way of looking at things. They've never said anybody's better than anybody else. I mean, there's a lot of what we would call love, except that it's not love. It makes sense. It's logical. It's the way it makes sense to me that this is just stuff we want to experience. And it's not the end of the world. Once we move on, we're like, done, that was done, and let's focus on something more fun. So for me, this makes sense. It really does resonate, or obviously I wouldn't share it with you. Akari, I've seen them before, but a long time ago. I had to unfocus my eyes for a while to see them, but now I don't even have to do anything. I see that stuff, yeah, because you're more open to it. And of course, you're trained. And once it's just like with me, I'll tell you. So this is interesting to me because when I started the first time, the first session was very, very different from these sessions. The first session, it felt so odd, like the voice was coming from far away up here to the back of my neck, and it was coming in, and I was just voicing it. And it did feel very strange. And that's why the answers were short, and I was trying to integrate the energy. After I did my first session, I was in a haze, complete haze for 3 days, like zombie. I don't even know how I function, because of course I still had to make food and drive my daughter to school and that kind of thing. But now I don't, Lorraine knows this. I really don't need an induction. Like I really just need to breathe for a few seconds. That's why I can meditate and get the same answers. And I don't need an outduction at the end when I take you out. I'm like, I can get up and go. And she knows this, we just did this. Because we get used to the energy. Once our body knows how to deal with the energy, you don't have to every time make it, it doesn't have to be difficult every time. It becomes so much easier. So right now I might as well, I close my eyes because it helps me focus so I don't get distracted. But it's like a conversation when I'm under hypnosis now. Question, answer. So it's very different because again, I've gotten used to it. If at the 25th, and I'm sorry, they have the allergens, they have the little, those flowers you blow here, they're like flying everywhere here. So my nose is itching like crazy. But what was I saying? Yeah, so I'm sorry, I lost track of what was it saying. Okay, I lost it, guys. It won't come back to me. But I was trying to say, oh, the 25th, yes. The 25th even said to me that I'm getting comfortable. I've gotten comfortable because I know that if I meditate or I do hypnosis, I can get the answers. And the truth is, it is comfortable for me, especially when I do hypnosis, like Lorraine said, 5 hours at a time. I'm going to be sitting by myself for 5 hours. That's why I have a friend with me, like Lorraine or Carolyn. And then I love it. All of a sudden, it's a party. But I will tell you this, we do this to ourselves. So I do want to say this. The second they said that, I'm like, oh yeah? So what is the idea? What were they trying to tell me? That we are, and they keep saying it to us, we are connected at all times. I'm like, I don't have to take a moment or do a certain action, like I'm looking over there because I have a couch over there. I don't have to go sit on the couch and meditate. And so I tried this, and now I just ask questions all the time. They give me the answer. And so I, for example, was in the car with my daughter, something was happening, and she was asking a question, and I asked, and right away they let me know. So I'm trying to say, we don't need to set limitations for ourselves. Okay, so even when you're mentioning here that you had to unfocus your eyes and now you don't have to anymore. I mean, that's awesome. That's basically knowledge that you don't have to do anything to see. If you want to see, you can see. If you want to hear, you can hear. If you want to know, you can know. Because I know you guys sometimes ask me, how do you find out? You ask and you will get the answer. You might set restrictions for yourself in the beginning, guidelines, so you recognize the answer when you get it. You get the answer, but you might not recognize it. So you might say, if I see a red bird, that's a yes. And if I see a yellow flower, that's a no. Whatever, I'm making an example. But after that, you don't have to, because once you learn to trust yourself, you don't have to ask anymore. Like in the past, I would have never trusted. I don't know if you noticed, in the past, I would have never said, like, oh yeah, they're saying, because I would have felt months ago, I would have felt like, oh my God, I look like one of those people, the channelers. We all have our judgments. I'm a 3D person. And now I'm like, whatever, they're talking to me all the time. We're connected all the time. So I'll just tell you what they're telling me. All right. Yes, that was me. I'll make a Telegram chat, guys. Okay, Kath. Yeah, go ahead. If you want to do this, this is awesome. I'll definitely pop in when I can. And I know you guys are going to have great conversations. And let me know, Kath, when you have it set up, and I'll definitely let people know as well, okay? Holly, that's cool. Kari, love hearing this. Yeah, that's awesome. Makari. Holly, there were several interpretations online too, so it's difficult to know what that honeycomb-like panel really is. It's again, it's a grid. They're telling me it's the filter. It's almost like you have, you guys know, I don't know if you guys have ever seen what canvases look like, the ones that they use for, what is it called? You know how they use the needle, I don't know what that's called, where you make, wool, cotton, and, but it's not so tight in the background, and there are little squares, of thread, and there's space in between the threads. That's what this is. That's how they showed it to me. It's when they were talking about symptoms, like for example, I was losing my balance, and I'm like, what's going on? They were saying you're at the edge of the matrix, and they were showing me like the frame. It looked like a honeycomb almost. The frame reality, the frame matrix. Okay, Kari, love hearing from you and everyone too. Yeah, this is awesome. I feel a little bit like family here, Holly. Yeah, that's how I feel. Sweetie, Abida. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know. Thank you for all the work you do. Thank you, but don't worry about our attention span. Please make your videos as long as you need to. No, I understand. It's also for me. So thank you for saying that. I'm not worried. I'm not saying, oh, you guys won't get it. It's more like I do feel like these are more manageable in general. So it's not, I'm sure you guys would figure it out. Okay. CK media training. Yes, I feel the same. Like I know things that no one else knows. Yeah. Tell me about it. All right. Angela, thank you, Claire. No, thank you for being here. It really is awesome. Akari, I kind of feel like we're spreading out like a net too. Yes. And sorry, guys, I don't know why it's not super clear. So I'm having trouble reading it. I kind of feel like we're spread out like a net too. I am the only one among everyone I have interacted with in my area or into these things. Yeah, that's interesting. I do have a few friends who are into these things, but again, even they still talk about, ascension or whatnot, which is fine by me. It's not like I feel an urge to correct anybody. Again, if you're attracted to this information, there's a reason. If you're not attracted and you want to believe in whatever else, it's totally fine by me. Lorraine, it's all good. Yes, Akari, I'm just happy to find everyone here. Yeah, it's fun. Riley girl, Chance. Good morning, love from Canada. Hello. Thank you so much for being here. EDC. It's 11:40 p.m. now in Eastern Australia. Oh, it's getting late, huh? I am sorry, guys. How long have I been on? Almost 2 hours. All right, let me see if there are any more questions. CK, I'm Catherine. I'm from Dublin. That's so cool. Hi, Catherine. What was your third confirmation? I can't say, Lorraine, because I will tell you after. So let me just say this. I'll give you a hint. So again, I don't want to say it on YouTube. It's not for you guys. I would tell you guys in a heartbeat. It was something related to this. I didn't know we were going to solve a situation related to that. I expected not to, and like that, it solved itself. So that was almost instant confirmation. So let's see. You guys are so nice to each other. I love this. I love this tribe. Okay, so Holly, EDC, I've been doing a face painting summit at midnight last 2 nights. Oh my God, Holly, that's awesome. My daughter loves face painting, just so you know. Oh gosh, it scrolled up again. Oh, sorry, guys. Oh God, why does it do this to me? Okay, I'm back. I found it. And you guys will think I'm joking, but I thank goodness that there's not like thousands of you here, or people have hundreds of thousands. This would be completely untenable. I have seen people who have a big channel when I used to follow them. And of course they can't see anything here because this thing moves and it's so weird. Okay. It's pronounced Siobhan. I mean, that's beautiful. I'm Irish. Oh my gosh. That is a beautiful name. Siobhan. Wow, how cool is that? I do body painting summit on full moons. EDC. It's hilarious. Oh my God. Oh, you're living in Laos. That is so cool. I've been to Laos. Okay, Angela, I have not seen any ships. Yeah, I have not seen any ships, but I know that I really don't want to see them. I know myself. And while I say that I'm curious, I really am like, I'll see them later. So that's the other thing. You might think you want to see them, but then when you really think about it, because I've asked the 25th, they said she doesn't really want to see them. The second they said it, I'm like, it's true. I would be freaked out. I don't want to. I just want to have my normal 3D life until we leave. And always making me laugh. Yeah, he's hilarious. Edward is hilarious. Okay, Butter, I'm not ready to see them. I am ready to see them, yes. So Butter, good for you. Good for you. I think it will be fun. EDC question, how many planets are there in the multiverse that have essences on them? So I've not asked a specific question, but the 25th said there are millions of planets and we don't really have planets just hanging out, unless they're waiting for us to go there, like New Earth. So I would imagine all of them have essences except for New Earth right now, obviously, or any other planet that is being created right now, but there are no other planets being created right now as far as I know. CK, I haven't seen any ships. I've only been through some personal stuff, which is distracting me a lot. I hope this is not bad stuff. I hope this is good stuff. If not, do try to prioritize some time to yourself, even if it's not that much, because really it's enough. We've done so much already on this planet. If you can manage in any way to get some time for yourself, even if it's just a little cut out of time, it doesn't have to be entire days, you know, because it's not good. Oh yeah, you're making a face there, an emoji that looks like it's not great stuff. I am sorry about that. Unfortunately, the 3D is still calling to us in many ways. EDC, I'm also happy to help run the Telegram group. We can share funny memes and talk about the info from the 25th and talk about what we want to do on New Earth. I love it. EDC uses Telegram every day. That's awesome. Yeah, I did, ZZ. Yeah, I would love for you guys to do this. I'll definitely hang out. All right, Lorraine, I'm happy to moderate Telegram group as well. That's awesome. You guys are awesome. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Kath, I honestly think we can probably moderate ourselves, like there ain't no trolls in this group, and that's for sure. And that is the biggest issue with Telegram groups otherwise. Holly was thinking the same, Kath. Absolutely, you guys are fantastic. So I don't know if you guys know, I mentioned it before, I'm a real estate investor. I've run businesses. I would hire you guys. That's how good you guys are. I have never had to deal with any nonsense from you. I mean, this is just fantastic. Lorraine, not moderators in control, just go in and assist when it's needed. That's nice. Yeah, I'm so excited, Claire. Woohoo! I'm excited too. I want to see it. So you guys, again, let me know, okay? I'll put it out. EDC, I enjoy making everyone laugh. Holly, you should see my dance moves. Oh, and so I am going to, about the Telegram group, I'm going to record these videos, which are going to be the last videos I record for a while. And so I'm going to record these videos in the next, I want to say maybe tomorrow, Sunday, Monday. And so if you want me to start talking about it in the video, then set it up if you could by this weekend and let me know. And you can let me know two ways, either commenting one of my videos and or email me, because if you look at my page, the YouTube page, it tells me, it tells you my email address. I don't remember what email address I have there, otherwise I give it to you. But it's there. I already had a couple of people email me there. Okay. EDC, I enjoy making everyone laugh. Yeah, I know your dance moves. You were talking about. I can't wait to see them on New Earth. Holly, I want to see your moves for sure. Akari, that's one of the really nice messages I like from 25th. It's okay to have both light and dark aspects. It's difficult to be light all the time because we get hurt by people. We feel things. Yes. Yes. It's also very limiting. Why should we have limits? We are created from source. We are source. Limits are something we want to believe in here, but we're moving on. And clearly we're doing something completely different because we're tired of believing in limitations. Akari, it was difficult to even associate myself before as part of the light team because I don't even consider myself altruistic enough. The 25th message makes me feel like I am enough as I am. And that's it. That's it. We always doubt ourselves, don't we? Because here we just live with the separation. We don't want to know we're source. We want to know that we are flawed. We hear this all the time. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. Even this concept of perfection, we talk about it because it's meant to make you feel imperfect, not enough. That's the whole point. This is how we kept this reality up with this low vibration, always undermining ourselves. You don't have to be all love and light all the time to be perfect. We are source. Source is perfect. We are perfect. 70 new this colony. Yay. Oh gosh, Edward, you crack me up. I cannot wait to hang out. Okay, Lorraine, you're so funny. Do you see? Yes, he is. Holly, she's 11, Claire. Oh, see, that makes sense. Yeah, these kids. Oh, lovely, just lovely. Angela, I can't wait to remember my other incarnations. Yeah, that would be fun. I'm sure some of them are not going to be so great, but whatever, right? Whatever, it's all good. We're here, still standing. So it's what it is. EDC, 12:22 a.m. here. I keep seeing 222, like 2022 is the year of it all changes. Yeah, you were saying that, and yeah, that makes sense. Holly, we got an honorable mention, EDC. Simon, we'll need physical food in 5D? No, we will not. So we're not going to 5D. On New Earth, we're going to 7D, is 7D. But we will not need physical food, no. Food is only a code. We did not need physical food here either. The NPCs, the bodies we found here, reincarnated here, did not need food. We changed these bodies and we decided to use food as a code to keep us in the vibration we needed to be in. And Holly, in 7D, we might want to eat to remember life here, but it's not necessary to eat on New Earth, yeah. Simon, I hardly eat anymore. Physical food feels so dense and lowers my vibration and energy levels. And that's exactly what it was meant to do. So you're just feeling it because you are so connected. It doesn't surprise me. Crystal, I'm picturing a beam me up Scotty situation. Yeah, most likely. I mean, they use technology. So even to the aliens, it has to make sense what they're doing, right? So yeah, maybe they watch Star Trek. I don't know. Riley girl question. There are several ARC ships being found in the oceans around the world. Will we see any of these? They contain beings in stasis and records for humanity. That's an interesting question. I have not, so they're telling me no, meaning as we're not gonna see these because there's not enough time. But of course, you can, from New Earth, you can see everything. Okay, so at that point, there is no veil anymore. You can see anything, even on the millions of other planets in the multiverse. So, but they're being found in the oceans around the world, ARC ships. That's interesting. They contain beings and stats and records for humanity. Again, records. So I don't know what records, what types of records. I'm sure we'll never get the truth. If in the 3D, everybody's gonna say, he says, who knows what, and then we have agreed upon history, right? But again, it might just be more codes or more clues we've left for ourselves, and it's coming up because, of course, a lot of stuff is coming up right now. But they're saying we're not going to see them from a 3D perspective because, again, we're not going to be here much longer. Elena, food is good for grounding for the most of us. Yeah, exactly. In fact, I will tell you guys, I gained weight. I think I mentioned this in a video. I've gained weight the last 2 years, during this thing that we called pandemic. And in the beginning, I was upset. I'm like, what is going on? And then I realized it was my body protecting me. I was basically eating my emotions with everything I was going through. It was my way of keeping myself sane. So I don't, and it's also, I experienced a new experience that I never had before. I never really gained weight. I might gain the 5-10 pounds, but nothing more than that. And so for me, it's a very new thing. Now I know I can lose this weight in no time, but it was an experience. It really, and again, because food was grounding me, was helping me ground. It's an easy way to ground. We know what codes do when we ingest them, or whatever it is, a drink or even a drug. We know what these codes will do. We're not ignorant. We're not like, oh, that surprised me. We know what we're doing. As long as we have chocolate, Simon. Yes, listen, if you want chocolate, I'm coming to your house on New Earth. That's no problem. Chocolate is a necessity, Lorraine. Of course it is. Oh gosh. Okay, found it again. Thank goodness. Elena, thanks for saying this. Getting conversations with 25th. I started talking to myself and getting answers. Yes, always doubtful if this is real and pure and not filtered through my ego. Here's the thing, Elena. I've done this too. In fact, if you speak to anybody who's had hypnosis, you're under hypnosis, you're saying, oh, I'm just making this up. Why am I saying this? Oh, this is crazy. You know what I did during my first and second session? I was like this. I had my eyes closed and I was like this. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is all BS. I'm just gonna open my eyes now and tell Carolyn this is BS. I'm just making this up. Okay, open my eyes. Okay, now open. Okay, now, and my eyes were not opening. I was under hypnosis. But in the back of my mind, I was going, no, this is fake. I'm awake. I'm just making this up. We all do it. Anyone who's ever had hypnosis, you've had hypnosis, you've probably done the same thing. We're always doubting ourselves. And then here's what I've learned after doing all this, where it's become so natural. It was always us. It was always me. It's not that I had to go somewhere else to get this information. It was always here. All I'm doing is coming from inside of me. It's not coming from back here anymore. It's inside of me all the time. This is how it is. We're just getting comfortable with this. So yeah, it's okay. You know, it's normal to doubt yourself, but the fact that you're asking and receiving answers, take them. It's not like you're asking about, you know, it's not like you're trying to win the lottery, so you have to be precise. Of course, we might filter something. You might want something. That's why I generally ask about things. And that's one of the reasons I get all this information, because I normally am the person who doesn't care. I'm like, just give it to me straight. But sometimes we do have stuff that I have caught myself, which is good that I was aware. I've caught myself a couple of times during a couple of personal questions where I'm like, please, 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 please. And then I'm like, and then I doubted it because I'm like, am I wanting to hear this? But even then they gave me answers that were different from what I thought. And so I'm like, okay, then it must be true. And this is how you test yourself if you want to, but just so that you become more, when I say test, I would think of it in terms of, so I become more comfortable with knowing if I'm filtering or not filtering how I'm taking this information, not testing as in, I am doubting, okay? Now, I doubt all the time. You guys know this from my videos. I asked the 25th. I've literally said to the 25th, you're not very good at predicting the future, are you? And they were laughing at me. And then, of course, they got it right. I told you the third thing came right away. So it's not a bad thing, but I don't mean you should never doubt the fact that you are connected, I guess is what I'm saying. And so just trust your answers. EDC, yay, Kath. Looking forward to Telegram. Yeah, please, guys, if you make it happen, seriously, let me know. Akari, thank you for the elaborate answers, Miss Claire. I truly appreciate you doing this for us. I am so grateful for you guys, truly. So this is a give and take. It's not just me. Angela, I have to go. Sorry, I was not very communicative. This is my first time in a chat. It was nice meeting all of you. I really appreciate all the work you have done, Claire. You probably left by now, Angela, but if you haven't, thank you so much for watching. And of course, you don't have to be communicative. It's totally fine. I mean, we're all just hanging out here, having fun. Kath, okay, I'm super sleepy. I'll catch a replay tomorrow night, guys. So beautiful to connect with you all. And thank you so much for your selflessness, Claire. Excuse me. For everything you've ever done. So you guys are seeing these things and I'm like, my body is like trying to clear. I am, I'm touched. I really am touched. I feel like I found my tribe. Because I've always had inklings like this. And then I tell people, I test a little bit. I tell some people and they don't get it. They don't want to know. It's not, they don't get it. It's not like they're dumb or, you know, they don't want to know. And it becomes quite lonesome. I know you guys know this. So this makes me feel so good that we have found each other. Lorraine, understood. So good night. Yes, bye. Bye, Kath. All right, Akari, thank you for your time, Angela, Kath, and everyone. Josie, good morning. Good morning. Okay. Rhonda, hi, Rhonda. I'm wearing bright, colorful clothes. Clothes are my passion. Rose, you know what? That's awesome. I can't wait to see what everybody comes up with. It's going to be fantastic. Holly, so true, Akari. Akari, good morning, everyone, to wherever you are on the planet. Great live. Thank you. Thank you, David. Will we see Trump come back? There is no time for any of that. Okay, so I want to answer this question. I want to tell you, you know, you guys, I don't do a lot of intel. I ask for myself, but again, it is not my goal to, a lot of the stuff they're saying out there, it gets very confusing for somebody. You're hearing all these things and there's no point, right? I'm more interested in the fact that this is over, it's fake, we're moving on to something else. But I will answer this. They did say, and actually I have a video coming out about this, they did say that people are bored. Okay. That people are bored. People are bored of this reality. Again, the group going to the 3D chambers has left. They're the ones that were supporting a lot of this 3D stuff. Again, no judgment. This is what was supposed to happen. A lot of the dark is gone. They were the ones throwing out these ideas, putting out these ideas to be picked up by the collective. A lot of them are gone. Over 70% have gone by now. I know EDC, you were thinking, what percentage? Over 70%. I just checked this. And basically, so everybody else who's left were like bored out of our minds. Nobody wants to hear about anything that has to do with the government anymore. Okay. They were saying, for example, people want to talk about travel right now. I know I do. And so the reason this came up is because I was asking, will we have time for and I cannot say the word, heavily censored, call it the championship the competition between the two parties that we had in 2020. Will we have time for this information to be propagated that they were rigged? They were very obviously rigged. I mean, we even saw pictures of people like hiding, you know, bagfuls, suitcases full of ballots. I don't know if I can say this word, but anyway. And they said, yes, there would be time because it would just be an announcement that the trials have been done, whatever. But the people don't even, we don't want to collapse the government so quickly, because otherwise we're going to have to think about how to rebuild it. From a 3D perspective, you're like, oh my gosh, now we have to think of a new system. We don't want to think about it. We are tired of the 3D, okay? So when you're asking me, will T come back? He's not, because we're just gonna go and forget about all these governments. So no, he will not. And I don't know whether I should tell you this, but I'll just tell you, since I said it, that's kind of evil too. Saying, I don't know if I should tell you and then not tell you. T, the original T, is actually not even with us anymore. He's been gone for a while. And not that it matters. We've had placeholders for all these people. We've had a placeholder for Gates for how many years now? You know, there's multiple of them. Even the current thing that we have, you know, the masked current thing that gives us orders, apparently, he's been gone for years. And I did check all of this. So again, I don't want to go into the details because, but you know, so no. Crystal, thank you for the live, Clea. I hope you have a wonderful time with your travels. Much love to you and everyone here. Thank you so much, Crystal. I know it's late for you guys. Akari, much love to you, Crystal. Holly, I found it amazing how we all found this place. I do love it. EDC, thank you so much. I'm going to give you a teddy bear. I love it. My daughter gave me a teddy bear. She left it here so I wouldn't work so much. See, today, she's a sweet girl. Okay. Shivan, love that name. Great, like Clay, I'm lucky you understood my 3D lingo. Have a wonderful holiday. Much love to all. Much love to you. Thank you. Holly, we are suppressed to be voting for a new, we're supposed to be voting for a new government here in Australia on Saturday. That's funny. Yeah, that's going to be fun. You should do it just for fun. This is the last time ever you're going to get to do something this silly. Enjoy it. Go with a smile on your face. Akari, living my days as if I'm last, trying too many new things. Had my first qhht last month. Yeah, next week I have a schedule with Ryan Cropper to talk to my spirit guide. Just curious to what will come up. Yeah, have fun with the stuff, guys. This is all fun stuff. All you're doing is you're seeking, you're putting ourselves, you're opening up and saying, I'm willing to listen. That's all you're doing. And then as you get more used to it, to listening, you'll know how you get messages. This is all good. It's all good. We've all gone through, you know, all of this to get here, right? I have read and listened to so many different things that this is how it works. And I know what you mean when you say living my days as if my last. I'm doing the same thing in many ways. Lorraine, I am so ready to just get to New Earth and move on to the next experience. Yes. Yes, it would be nice to see some ships during the championship, the competition, Jill. Holly Blossom, or ADC dancing and serving sausages. Yeah. Akari, thank you, Holly. I've been restraining myself to do things that are fun for me for a long time. And I thought of the things I want to do if I'm to leave here soon. Here's the thing, guys. This was the lesson all along. This was supposed to be fun. Instead, we have repressed ourselves. This was never the point. In fact, there is something coming out in one of the videos. There was a question that Lorraine actually asked about the fact that there are a lot of cities where the people working there look like zombies, because of course, a lot of them were 3D people who have left. So it's NPCs now. NPCs are not driven. So we look like zombies. But the 25th said, this is how we treated ourselves. We stayed in jobs that were soul crushing. We treated ourselves as zombies, doing things that were not fun at all. And so let me put it this way. If nothing happened this summer, we would still have to take these lessons and apply them to our lives, which is we are in charge, we create our own reality. And it starts by us doing things that we love how to do. We have forgotten, a lot of us, I know I speak for myself, we've forgotten how to have fun. So it's important. I hope you guys take this to heart. Every time I connected to 25th recently, and I always ask them, what am I doing that I could be doing better? Or what more should I do? They always say, you should have some fun. You should not be working all the time. So, and it's not just me, okay? That's why I'm telling you guys, because I'm sure you guys are doing the same thing. David, will gold and silver pop before the shift? So David, I spoke about the shift before. There is no shift. We're just moving. And no, they will not pop if you mean like go up astronomically. I actually have a video about this, Dave. Go back just a few days ago. I had a video that was called Metals, Crypto and Currencies or Evaluation. And it was just in the past couple of weeks, I think. And he will explain all about this, okay? Because I do want you to get an answer. But they will not pop. They'll go up a little bit, but they will not pop. What will pop, many of us are already multimillionaires, is the currencies. Currency revaluations have already happened, but we will not be. If they announce them before we go, and it's not a given, but they might. In fact, the 25th said they might announce them. They're thinking of announcing them. We will not be able to exchange the money anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Heath. I came in so late. It's okay, Heath. There is no late. Everything is happening now, so you can just go back and watch it. But can't wait to watch this from the start. I adore the people who found your channel. Yeah, they are great. Just reading through the chat gives me such a lift. Thank you, Claire and Lorraine. Thank you so much for saying that. I do love this this group. Jill, thank you, Claire, for the live. Of course, Akari. Some people here in Japan look like zombies. Too many overworked people. Yeah, we've done this. We've done this to ourselves. Holly, sorry, David. Sadly, there won't be time, but 3D chambers people will experience a much easier time on 3D regarding money. Yes, Claire did a video on this a few days back. Yes. We all need a vacation. Yes, we do. Josie, this body's been getting tired and physically sore the past few days. Yeah. So I want to tell you something, a couple of things before we wrap this up. I've been going for 2 hours and 20 minutes, and you guys, some of you are really need to go to sleep. I know I'm like acting like mommy. A couple of things I was going to tell you. So about Josie's comment, his body's been getting tired. I have had some physical symptoms that are very odd. And so I asked the 25th about this, and it will come out in a video in the future, where they said it's because the energy is changing. Not only we're clearing a lot of energy, but also our bodies are changing. Even though we're not taking them with us, our bodies are dealing with a change in energy. So that's what's happening. So it doesn't surprise me that you've been getting sore and having stuff that you consider to be unusual. The other thing I was going to say, let me see, did the question just pop up? I would love for them to announce the RB just for fun. Been waiting 10 years. Yeah, Lorraine. It would be fun to know we're multimillionaires, even if just on paper for 3 days, you know. The other thing I wanted to tell you is what I was mentioning in the beginning. Something very strange happened that was very fun. I discovered something new about dreams, and that is that even things that we don't think mean anything, they actually are telling us something. So this is what happened. I had a dream a year ago. I think it was before my first session even. I had a dream where I was in a hotel, and there were a ton of people, and all 3 people were talking about normal things, stock market, whatever it is we're talking about. And all of a sudden I go to my room and I realized that that my suitcase had been stolen, my bag basically. And so I'd lost my wallet, I'd lost my telephone. Basically, I lost all the things that would have allowed me to communicate and or to do something or to go back home. And I thought to myself, oh shoot, I'm not going to be able to call my mom, and she's going to be worried because I'm here in New York. And the reason I say this is because I kept thinking to myself, so let me just tell you the full dream. So I'm in New York. For some reason, I was in New York. Okay. So then I go downstairs, I leave the hotel, and there's a park nearby. I go into the park, and all of a sudden, I basically walk through towards a tree, and I walk through it, and the air becomes like, you know, like a fairy tale, all sparkling and stuff. And that was New Earth. Okay. So basically this was, he was showing me already a year ago that I was going to go to New Earth. The reason I mentioned this dream is because yesterday, this has been happening throughout, every time I transcribe this, every time I write New Earth from the transcript, I don't write it. When the when the speech to text hears New Earth, they always write New York. And for the first time, and I've seen this a million times, for the first time yesterday, as I was transcribing the last session, I'm like, oh my God, that's what it is. And that is what it is. In the dream, it was a New Earth. I was saying, I cannot tell my mother that I'm going to be on New Earth, but she won't worry because she'll know I'm just traveling or somewhere else. Isn't that interesting? So I wanted to tell you, it was a breakthrough for me. And so many times, even little details that, again, we don't think mean anything, they're actually telling us exactly. And I know that dream interpretation is crazy. It's a science, really. But this was interesting to me. How our higher self, how we always speak to ourselves, we just don't want to know. So I've been seeing New York. So imagine how many sessions I've done. And I was seeing New York come up for New Earth all the time. And still I hadn't connected the dots. So I was like, when I figured it out, I was like, oh man. All right, let me see if there's anything else. Okay, I think that's all, guys. Thank you so much for watching this and really keeping me company, because I love talking about these things, and you guys are a lot of fun to hang out with. Great questions, and even just the fact that you guys are so awesome. Something popped up. Yeah. So Akari is telling Josie to take a break. Yeah, too overworked before my body had to really make me feel pains for me to be conscious that my mind and heart needed a long break. Yeah, sometimes our bodies have to break down for us to pay attention. Isn't that true? Josie, that's amazing. My dreams have been crazy, wild. I had one kind of morbid dream a few days ago. Yeah. Dreams have been crazy. Yes. All right. Thank you again. And I'm sorry if this has gone a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I wanted to make sure I was answering all your questions. Thank you so much for participating just every time, not even just in this live. And you really make my work a lot easier. And I'm really loving this community. So I can't wait to see the new Telegram group they got set up. All right. Much love to you. Bye-bye from Italy. And I'll be in touch soon. We'll connect on other videos. Take care. Bye-bye.